joint venture between the Brits, the Irish, and the Germans, actually.
Yeah.
But once they got to the coast, the people who settled the middle of the country were actually German.
What year?
For what?
What was that? Was that Life on the Prairie or whatever? That book? Those are all German people.
The 1500s or 1600s?
No, that's way later.
Oh, way later?
The 1800s.
Okay. No, they started in 1500s. Setting this up.
Yeah, when they started, they only had a little sliver. They had like a little sliver of land on a coast, basically.
I heard a stat that I'm not sure. It might be a factoid. I'm not exactly sure how true it is, but at the time of somewhere around I don't know, early 1900s, somewhere around the world wars, the amount of Germans in America was over 50%, like 51 or 52% or something like this. So I mean, truly was brother wars, wasn't it? Right?
Bro, like in the 1950s, 56% of Americans have blue eyes.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, but Germans and Anglos both have blue eyes, so that doesn't really determine it. There's a slight difference, very slight difference, but yeah, I mean they.
I did the blue-eyed rabbit hole once upon a time level list, and I was, I don't know, I was a bit blown away. Like, what is the origin of this situation? I don't know. It just reminds me of Frank Sinatra, doesn't it? Right, old blue eyes, and he was Italian. So what happened there? What's happening? Did he have some German?
Italians have brown eyes because they're conquered. Well, not fully conquered, but like a lot of it was conquered by the Arabs.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
That's not true at all, dude.
Frank Sinatra had blue eyes.
That's not true at all, dude. I got a lot of family members with fair skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes from Italy.
That's why I said a lot.
Not Sicilian.
Of their country. That's why I said a lot of their country, not all of their country, was conquered by Saracens. The brown eyes in Italy comes from the Saracen population, which conquered during the Arab conquests.
I love that speech in that movie. Who were those guys? I can't remember. You know what movie I'm talking about?
I mean, I don't know what Arab conquest caused Archimedes and all these guys to live in Alexandria, Egypt, but sure, whatever.
Alexandria, Egypt was a bunch of white dudes with blue eyes. They were Greeks.
Bro, all these Greeks, when you look into where were they? Alexandria, Egypt. So they're Greek, but they're from Egypt, Alexandria specifically. It's like, okay,
yeah, so they're not Arab looking. They're Greek looking.
And without any conquest, some people at some long time ago they went south because the headquarters of the world, all the sciences were there. You know, it's like whatever. You know.
Well,
you referencing Greek guys. You referencing Greek guys is not Arabs. Is not brown-eyed Arabs. Sorry.
They controlled the entire Mediterranean. He's right. At one time, there is evidence that supports that the entirety of the Mediterranean was white people.
They had control of Egypt for 300 years. The Ptolemaic Empire.
Yeah, I'm from the Mediterranean coast, the African side, and I'm pretty fucking yellow, like pretty bright yellow. Don't want to call myself white. I tan pretty good, so I play the black card pretty well, but I'm bright yellow. So it's like, yeah, most of that coast is lighter in color than the sub-Saharan. Yeah, we intermixed, man. Long ago, though, it's not because of the Muslim conquest. No, before the Muslim conquest, there's plenty of evidence. People from Italy and Greece specifically live in Alexandria. Tons of it.
Look at Iran, right? Iran is supposed to be Aryan, so okay, there is evidence that there were white people in Iran, but then you just have Mongolization. Like there's not enough new white people there, and there's a bunch of Arabs and browns.
There's Iranian people. There's Iranian people
with red hair.
There's Iranian people who are whiter. There's Iranian people who are whiter than white people.
Yeah, but
right now, Google Just Google IRGC pictures or something like that, and look how many redheads they have. They're Arab-looking redheads. Just look at them. They're like, okay, so you can see that, and there's a lot of them. So the Iranians have been intermixing like long ago, man, since like the Greeks and fucking ancient Egypt and shit.
No, it was the Arabs, bro.
No, the Muslim conquest is recent compared to people over there intermixing.
Yeah, the Iranians were white
ancient Egypt
before the Arabs.
I don't know, bro. They're in Asia. I don't know what they look like.
You can go and
Not
see
sure.
that the pale Iranians, and then you can see the dark Iranians, and the dark Iranians all have Arab features, and the pale Iranians don't. So we have
There's
we
both
literally
today.
we literally have
We can look them up today.
the more pure Iranian stock, which is very pale. They still have brown eyes, but they're very pale. And then we have the mongrelized Arab stock. We can see them side by side today. We can see like the Arab mongrelization everywhere they go. They share the same characteristics, and the same thing in Italy. I mean,
India.
you're trying to say,
East Iran.
it happened before that. It happened before
Catholic.
that. But you're just appealing to some like ethereal thing that never happened.
People intermix,
it
bro.
pretty much all
It's
happened
not.
in the Arab conquest.
People live in Eastern Iran, will mix in with the Chinese, so they'll look more Asian, and they do. People from Northern Iran intermix with more white people, and they look more, and they are. It's like that's just how it is, man. It's reality. By proximity, you'll intermix.
You don't have any. You have no basis. You have no basis for this like Arabic-looking people before the Arabs took over, and it's just not the case. You're just resting it all upon some imaginary time when it happened, but not actually giving a specific time.
Arabs of Arabia, the Sandland Arabia. Yeah, when the fuck did they take over? Before the Muslim conquest?
Nothing
I don't know,
exactly.
man.
So all the races were more
Right.
pure before the Arab conquest. But you're trying to say like, oh, there was a proto-Arab conquest, but not actually citing it, and just alluding to it actually being a case when it never was.
Man, look, if you live on a coastal city anywhere
There's you
where there was
alluding
an
to a
old
non-specific
ancient
thing.
fort,
You alluding to a
people
non-specific
mix,
thing,
bro.
again.
It's by proximity. If you live by a port,
Yeah, you have
a major ancient port,
nothing. This is now you're devolving into sophistry.
whatever, bro. Yes, the Arab fucking conquered everything. Okay, that's just not true.
They conquered
I
Spain,
would-
parts of France, parts of Italy,
Recent,
all of North
absolutely, yeah.
America, all of Arabia, most of the Levant, parts of Eastern Europe, and you can see everywhere where they go, you can see that the people that were conquered have Arabic features on their face, but then they're a mix of whatever was there before. There was no proto-Arab conquest before the Arab conquest, and you appealing to some, whoa, near a port, it's just not a specific argument. You're just chanting your claim without supporting it now, engaging in sophistry.
So you think people started intermixing because of the Arab conquest? Before that, all races are pure. That's retarded. Because
No, it's not.
didn't
Okay,
just
you
start
just
fucking 500
declaring it
years ago.
retarded is not an argument. You lose.
It is. It is. When you got pyramids and shit in Egypt,
You
it is. You fuck off.
you
We got Archimedes living in Egypt and
you
shit. It's like,
objectively
man, you
lose.
jerk off somewhere
Your
else.
refutation was just an ad hominem. You objectively
That's what
lose.
I was talking about. I was talking about Archimedes and people from Greece living in Egypt. Is like without any wars, just to go learn there when society was there. That's it.
Yeah,
That was a long time
they
ago,
took
man.
over. They took over, and they said, "I'm a Greek. You're an Egyptian. We're not the same thing. We're the ruling Greek class, different and separate from you, the people that were already here that we took over class."
Nah,
So that's
yeah,
not
I
an
don't know
example.
whose
That's
story
not
you're
an
reading.
example of an Arabic context. No, this. Okay,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
So you have nothing again.
Yeah, we do. Pythagoras. He had to wait 7 years till he entered a school in Egypt. So it's like, no, they
Okay,
were not
this is just a
That's
red
not true.
herring. Now this is now just a red herring. You
Well,
still
we're
lose.
talk about the Greeks, man. It's not a red herring. It's a specific.
We're talking about nations and ethnicities, and you're bringing up a mystery school. That's objectively a red herring. You lose.
Bro, the dude is from Greece. He traveled the sea to fucking learn, not conquer shit. Was like, all right.
Well, you're partially both right because the Greeks did conquer Egypt, right? And that's
Later,
when
yeah.
Alexander. Sorry.
Later, yeah, after like the great dynasties of the pharaohs, absolutely, yeah.
No, actually, they became. They adopted. It's like when the Romans came in, they put an end to it, right? But the Greeks ruled Egypt like pharaoh style, right? They didn't just abolish all their customs. Look into it.
Well,
Yeah, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt.
Alexander.
And Greece retained control over Egypt until Rome came in, and that
For
whole
300
Cleopatra
years,
story.
bro.
Yeah, that's later.
300
Yeah,
years. Longer than
yeah, that's
America
after.
is a country. They had control of Egypt.
Right. That's after the fall of ancient Egypt, right?
No, bro. No. Didn't fall.
You know the
Egypt
first
fell
mummies.
when Rome took over, because when Greece took it over, they kept the customs. There was pharaohs and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Cleopatra,
Like
right? Cleopatra was the last pharaoh, like the last ruler of Egypt. And then the Romans came in and then they abolished all that. No more pharaohs. Gone.
So I'm saying that's the end of ancient Egypt after the last fourth dynasty or whatever. After third, but during like the major three dynasties, bro, there's no way.
You know the earliest mummies found in Egypt had red hair, right?
Yep. I got red hair in my beard. What's up? I'm from that land. Yeah, I'm slightly redheaded. Okay, I look Egyptian as fuck. So
you got some Greek in you or some Roman in you.
Roman, yeah, exactly.
And in ancient China,
because
as well.
My mom's side, they're from Alexandria, so and they're white. They intermix with Romans. Bingo.
Then you're either Greek, partly Greek or partly Roman.
Greek or Roman.
Yeah.
And you're probably more Coptic than you know anyway.
That's from my dad's side. My dad's side is from Upper Egypt, down south, the Coptic side, correct? And they look totally different. They look like the stuff on the statues, the pharaoh statues. They have a different look to them. And yeah, they get most of them are Coptic down there.
I missed.
But
what are you saying about redheads?
Nothing.
Where did the ancient red hair? How did it get to Egypt? Which is
Japanese people naturally have red hair, or not all Japanese people, but like a lot of Japanese. Well, I don't know if it's a lot, but Japanese people naturally have red hair. Some of them. It's weird.
Have you ever heard the story of why there's a caste system, or how like the origins of the caste system in India?
Yeah, the Aryans conquered the Dravidian natives there
in the very north, and there's a gradient of like darker and darker skin the farther and farther south you go, and like no one's allowed to dilute any of that skin because they don't want to drop down in the caste system.
That's true. They have more Caucasian features as well.
All the way in the very, very north. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashlogos covers all that in his stuff because there's a tie-in between ancient European languages and Sanskrit. If you look at, in fact, I used to have them on my old laptop. I wish I could post the pictures. If you look at the languages side by side, for a huge number of words, they're basically the same. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, I've heard Sanskrit and Scythian is similar.
Yeah.
Scythians are basically Germans, so.
Yeah, they do wonder if they were a mix, if the sort of, because I always think of the Greeks as well. If you think of you look at those statues, you look at the you look at the Vikings, those sort of people, you think, well, these two people look the same, right? So I think they all came from one another. I really do.
Yeah, they all came from the Aryan was like Aryan whatever. That's what they came from. and that split up into all the different kind of Caucasian groups or whatever.
Yeah, I think we all came from 3 sons of Noah, so we had to sit somewhere.
There comes the religious controlling part.
I have not mentioned religion once yet, SE. So
Controlling when all I did was make a simple fact of what I believe. I wasn't trying to control anybody.
No, I'm not saying you're trying to control. I'm saying that's how this current control system is working with religion. Like the Judeo-Christian belief, which is an oxymoron. Two things couldn't be further from, each other.
I agree there.
yeah, one's Antichrist, one is literally Christian. Like the Jews are the OG Antichrists. They're the first Christ rejectors. So to say that there's a Judeo, aka Antichrist, Christian thing, so an Antichrist Christian, it's just contradiction on its face.
Take Christ
Well,
out of
they kind of steadfast believe though, right, Noah? The Jews, like for instance, they have their own dates. What's the date? It's like 5,900 and something, or is that? Does anybody know the date exactly? What the Jews think it is?
They do have a date. Yeah.
But
Can I-
the point is that they have their thing, what they believe, and they stick to it. Like they're pretty staunch in
The Chinese also have something similar.
And the Masons too.
The Chinese think it's like the 5,000th year of some sort of something.
Well, that's
Oh,
why
so
they
you guys-
put in the BCE, the E part, right? Because the Jews are offended by it. Before the Common Era instead of before Christ.
Yeah.
Gives you
The
an idea of
Jews and Freemasonic
running the country.
Satanists.
Common Era instead of Anno Domini. Yeah, I
There's
bet you're not-
essentially like there's like the Satanists and then the Synagogue of Satan. Basically, they kind of work hand in hand.
Hey, can I say my statement now? Can you hear me? Please.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you can't take Christ out of Christian because then all you're left with is Ian. Ian's a nice guy and all, but he can't save your soul.
I need Jeremy
I
to
thought it
chime
was
in on
only.
Rob's.
No, nobody even got that. Nobody laughed. Never mind.
I thought it was only the
I
creator
got
of the
it. I
soul
just didn't
that can
think it was
save
funny.
So the Jews think
Maybe
it's
we should-
5786. The Chinese think it's 4724, and the Masons think it's 6026.
Kind of similar, and definitely
We don't talk.
Very-
We don't talk about the Masonic here.
very different from the
Yeah.
Darwinists and what the Darwinists say about creation.
You're not a Blue Lodge guy anyway. Dude.
Me? I am.
He is a Blue Lodge guy. He's
Only
only a
blue.
Blue Lodge guy.
It's more fun. It's a lot more fun. That's all you need. So it's like whatever. Cool.
It's all you need to be deceived.
No. It's like, what's the highest degree of masonry? 3rd degree. That's it. Everybody will say it unanimously. It's like, why do you need anything else?
33rd.
It's Scottish, right? If you want to join that.
Actually, there's also like what is it like the Memphis Rite? I think that one has 69 degrees.
You want me to show you? Okay, you can either go York Rite or Scottish Rite. Here, I'll give you a map. Gotcha.
Yeah, I
I'll
already
give
know
you
about
the
that.
compass.
I'm saying there's
You
a
know about it.
Memphis right. There's a Memphis right that's 69 degrees, and there's another right that's 70 something degrees as well. Like there's a couple different organizations.
So you know how Cyrus, you say you're a Mason, right?
Mm-hmm.
A low level Mason.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit
A master
skeptical.
mason, so
Anyway,
it's the highest level that you can achieve
Mason,
in
slow the
history.
beat, brother man.
Basically the
well,
lowest
I mean,
level Mason.
can we just not all talk at once? That'd be great. Cyrus, what do you, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true, but I've heard they get to like 32, and then they're offered to become a Shriner or something like this, and they have to reject Christ, and then they go into Islam. Is that true?
Bro, I've heard stuff like that too. Never went Scottish Rite to verify that, but I've heard stories about that, man. I don't know how it works.
Well, I was
I
just
cannot
thinking
verify
you
it.
won't have
Like I
you won't
said.
have to do
It's
that,
true,
right?
bro.
You won't
That's
have to do
true.
that because you're already with Islam, so you know you're
Yeah,
sure.
it's great.
It's
It's
called
great
the
for
Arabic
me.
Order of the
Yeah.
Mystic Shrines. It's called the Arabic
Even the
Order of the Mystic
Muslims, even the Muslims talk about this, and that's why they say yes.
Yeah, yeah.
The Masons,
It's,
the Masons are our brothers. The high level, like the scholars of Islam, the highest authority, like the popes of Islam, basically. The popes of Islam, the highest levels of Islam, the scholars of Islam, all agree. When they talk about the Masons, not all of them talk about the Masons, but the ones that do, all agree that yeah, the Masons are a branch of Islam. Although the ones maybe at the bottom don't know this, the highest levels of Masonry know they're Muslim.
that's great then. That works out for me. God. Here,
Cyrus is
look,
a
I
shoo-in
posted a
to become a
roadmap
By
for
the
Shriner.
you.
way, for those who don't know,
Wait,
Islam or Muslim simply
there.
means submitter. That's literally kind of all it means.
Correct.
Just getting all the Hollywood and the la 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 out of it is literally just means one who submits. I believe it even echoes that in John 4:7, I think. Submit to God, resist the devil, and he shall flee. There you go.
John 4:7. Oh, and 4:7 is 47 is important to the Masons as well. John 4:7 says what?
Yeah, Mason just means a builder. Even Jesus was a Mason. He was initiated into the mystery schools of Egypt, which is why he returneth on a donkey from Egypt. Uh, so thus us Moors have the 18 missing years of Jesus' life, which speaks about his initiation at the Temple of On, I believe it was called, which was translated in the like Hotep type language for like the Temple of Light, which is why when you hit a switch for light, you have it's called on.
Yeah,
The
this
Temple
is
of
what
On.
this is the blasphemy that the Masons and the Muslims believe. Yeah,
Oh, this is
they
worse.
believe
Yakub.
that Jesus
I didn't write the
that
Bible.
Jesus they believe
Well, I
that
didn't write the Bible. He literally begins his
Jesus. Could
ministry
I
in
please have
18.
my time? They believe that Jesus Christ is like basically not God in the flesh. That he's a very special prophet like Muhammad, and that he is a master of the mysteries.
Yeah, to reveal what the Israelites were supposed to have done in the first place, which is why they were the chosen ones.
That's just a
So
belief.
that's
I
it.
mean, that's fine. You can believe what you want to believe, but I mean, you can't prove it. I'm saying that's
Well,
fine.
all of this is based on the Bible.
Don't present it as fact. The Bible says nothing like that. All right, so don't even
Yeah,
try
he
to
literally
prove that.
begins his ministry in age 12, and then there's an 18-year gap, and then all of a sudden, 30 years, he pop out of the woodwork. He's on the cross.
That is known
According to the
as an
King
art.
James
That is
Bible.
known
I
as
didn't
a.
write the King James
Can I
Bible. It's
please?
just according to chronological order.
Real
18
quick.
missing years is
Yo,
nothing that is right.
dude, you definitely were not speaking before me. I was definitely before you in responding
If you
to
speak, everybody gonna have to say it,
BR
but
more.
we're just
BR
responding.
more.
We're just promoting.
Your argument
So
Oh,
about your argument
I didn't want to
saying
be
that
hurt.
there is an
But
your argument saying that there is an unaccounted 18 years of Jesus Christ's childhood life unaccounted for in the Bible, and in those years, Jesus Christ went to Egypt and became a Mason, is an argument from silence fallacy. It's an argument from absence of evidence. You're pointing at an absence of evidence and saying that is evidence. It is fundamentally is fundamentally a bad argument.
Gotcha. So if a Nicene Council don't agree with it, cool. Then okay, it's blasphemy. Gotcha. Let me check that off.
You reference the scripture, and then in the scripture there's an absence of evidence. If you cite that absence of evidence as evidence, you
There's
are
literally
doing
documentaries about
a
Jesus'
textbook.
presence in
You are doing
India
a
now, brother
textbook
man. Are you
argument from
serious?
silence fallacy. This is a fallacy in
Bro, even
argumentation.
without the Moorish
It
talk,
automatically invalidates the thing that you were saying. So until you make
We
another
can't
argument,
continue talking over
until you
each
make
other,
another
guys.
argument, that
Please,
argument is
slow,
still dumb.
Tell us, are you
slow.
ready for the next argument? Literally, there's historical video of Jesus' presence even in India. Now they're saying this is
There's no
why
historical videos of anything. Videos only exist for 50 years.
In order for you to know how to solve this problem, you got to hear the solution. So even some are even saying this is why that the monks dress like him. Uh-oh.
I didn't even know what Jesus dressed.
And also the prayer hand. Hold on, let me finish. The prayer hands, you want some proof. The prayer hand. Some will say that's a yoga position. If you look at the side of the prayer hands, right? We, from our perspective, right? Optics, it looks like his hands is both put together. But if you rotate him, right? Like the fucking Resident Evil, right? Like rotate the fucking puzzle. There's
What are
actually
you
a
doing?
space between it. Well, just
Resident Evil.
shut up so you can like hear the punchline. You will literally see that his hands are not touching. Some will say his hands are
So
actually
he's Leon now?
a
Is
few
he Leon
millimeters
with his
apart,
wreck
which was actually a prana.
Resident Evil 9?
Bro, I want to hear the answer. Like I
Guys, you
want
gotta
you to
go one at a
reply.
time, guys. Please,
It's
man.
actually like a prana yoga type position where you can literally, you can do this yourself. This is self-experimental. Put your hands slowly together, and you will start to feel this kind of warm, subtle, like electromagnetic sensation. Some deep shit here. Hey, okay. Anyway, I'll shut up. I didn't make the video. They're talking about, hey, Jesus must have been in Egypt.
Okay, could you send me the video, Mr. Moore, and on my own time, I will look over it, and then I'll give you my argumentation back for why I think it's not true, or maybe I'll end up going to your side and thinking it is true and not having any arguments to it.
Yeah, brother, the Buddha of Nazareth. There's literally like documents and historical. You ever heard of Aquarian Gospel? Like there's shit out here, bro, that's talking about just more shit about Jesus, you know? Like, yo, this dude's been doing more. He wasn't just hanging around Jerusalem. He returned on the donkey from Egypt. That's in the Bible. But what did he do there? What did he do there?
He was
Apparently,
trying to kill
there were
Nemesis.
7 degrees that he learned. He went to the dismal crypts of Egypt, and the 7th degree, guess what it was called? Christ. The last degree, they say, okay, this ass whooping, right? This hazing for this degree, we can't give it to you. The public is going to now whip you. The blood. He went through it. Let me shut up. Peace.
Please do. Please do. Thank you.
Well, none of you have any proof of this. It's all just stories. You're literally arguing over a story.
Yeah, for anybody into alternative Nicene Council literature of Jesus' life, just check it out, brothers. It's a lot more out here.
No, you give me the thing, and I'm gonna see if the guy sources anything actually historical and look into it, or if he doesn't. Is what I'm thinking, because right now it's a whole lot of wild claims. I've heard them before, but I want to see if there's any actual like sourcing being done for this type of thing.
Where does it say in the Bible
Yeah,
that Jesus
It doesn't
returned?
say in the Bible. He's citing extra biblical sources. In the Bible, he says that there is an absence of evidence on the subject, so he goes outside of Scripture, which I don't have a problem with. To then make his
even the Bible
thing.
speaks about stuff that's not even in the Bible. It speaks about like the Book of Jasher. There's no chapter called the Book of Jasher, but it's mentioned twice, according to Blue Letter Bible. Yeah, I'm just one of them guys. I've been here 15 years, had debates and stuff. So you're kind of talking.
Where does it? What extra
We come to
biblical
Islamic
book?
/ Christian discussions. So yeah, I'm that guy.
Extra biblical
That's why I can
text
kind of
says that
roll
he
off my tongue with this stuff. That's
Yeah,
all.
I'm trying to
bro.
source where he's getting his claims
I
from,
kind
because
of
he's not
introduced
getting it from
myself
the
a little bit
Bible.
there.
He's not getting it from the Bible.
Okay, you're a 325 kind of guy.
Yeah,
It's
but
not.
I'm trying to figure out where did you read that it says that he come in.
So let me make sure. Which one do you adhere to? The one with the 50 books or the one with the 88 books in it?
I don't adhere to any books. Scripts.
Oh man,
The scriptures. So can you tell me which scriptures did you find that in?
He returneth on a donkey from Egypt.
Yeah, where did you find that one?
I don't know, somewhere in the Bible, King James version.
Yeah, he went to Egypt because he had to hide because they were trying to kill him or whatever.
He was that was right after birth, right? And then he come back until he was like 4 or 6
Yeah,
or
he
so.
did. He came back for the wedding, and he was back in the wedding of Cana. I remember that. So he was
6-year-old was
that
riding a
was
donkey.
definitely not in Egypt.
Yeah, but he returned from Egypt after Harold died, and he was like what?
Yeah,
And then
that was the 18 years or whatever. The missing 18 years.
no, it was
Don't
not
quote me.
18. That was like 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, look it up, man.
Not believe
First grip is about
said
Jesus.
he
If you
is.
want
I
to
mean,
talk back about talk
just
to Mason,
the basic gist of
the
what we're
first
getting.
grip.
And that's fine. You can believe Jesus to be whatever you want to believe. That's fine. The whole purpose of Christ in the Bible was to spread the gospel to mankind. Salvation, right? That's all it's about. We're all sinners. Christ was the sacrifice for all of our sins. That's it. I mean, that's what the purpose of the Bible is. So you want to go into the other stuff? That's fine. You can believe what you want to believe, but that's what
Well,
it's
even
about.
these
It's about
alternative
all of
studies.
us being one. That's it. Not about us being divided.
Well,
Division
even
was
these
never the
alternative studies
purpose of the
talk
Bible.
about his
Yeah, I
mission.
just
It
looked
was all
into it.
about
Elbow's
inclusion.
right. Elbow's right. It was actually only 1 to 3 years spent in Egypt, not 18.
Well, I never said that, but there's a there's even the other alternative studies like the Aquarian Gospels and stuff speak about his mission. He have come to logos, all that type of stuff. Yeah, to emulate godhood in man. Thus is why he said, when you see what I do, I'm doing like God shit. I'm feeding the homeless or whatever. I'm washing feet. Thus, when you see me, you see God, not like, oh, you? It's like, no, look at what I'm doing. I'm flipping tables. I'm trying to fix shit in life. I'm bringing justice to injustice. That's God, not me. But
The thing
everyone
is, you
went,
have to understand when people understand what the purpose of
yeah.
Christ
I
was.
can say they
Well,
What was
see
the
that's
God.
clearly in
It's like,
contradiction with the Gospels,
whoa,
and
it's,
that's clearly in
that's not what he meant.
contradiction with the Gospels and basically the entire New Testament, all the writings of Paul, the
That's a
Book of
lot to go
Acts,
through.
and Revelation. And
Yeah,
actually, that is completely anti-scriptural. That belief. So where are you getting that belief from? Because it's not the scripture.
Jesus.
No.
Jesus.
The primary accounts of Jesus are
Jesus.
in
How many times he
the
spoke about
gospel,
like
in
his
the
righteousness,
gospels, and nothing in the
about those who
gospels
sin?
nothing in the gospels support what
I'm
you're
giving you Bible
saying.
and you're arguing Bible.
Nothing
That's
in the
crazy.
gospels
I'm a
support what
Muslim.
you're saying. So where are you getting that from?
No clash. Okay, so it's in the Bible. Everything I've been giving you is Bible. Matthew 32. Woe to you, Pharisees and scholars, right? Who want nothing but greets to the markets and shit. The stuff we got going on now. Didn't the guy just say Pope? That's not God. That's Antichrist. Because that's not what he would have. To call another man Lord. Isn't there a verse that says, you shall call no one Lord? So,
When they're saying, they're referring to Lord as
we're getting
in
close to
like
performatism.
Lord was used as a placeholder for Yod He Vav He. They're talking about calling another person the uncreated creator. That's what
You
they're
need to
speaking
understand
about.
what was Christ's, what was Jesus' purpose? What was his purpose? Does anybody know what his purpose was
Bring
in the Bible?
justice.
What was his
To
purpose?
bring justice. To bring
No, he
justice
was
and
the
to bring clarity.
sacrifice.
Save
He was
humanity.
the sacrifice
Yeah,
for our
to show you
sins.
what you should have done as the
Listen to
children of
me.
Israel. That
I'm
you
trying
were
to
Save
tell you
chosen
what his
anyway
purpose
for the
was.
world.
If
save
you listen, just
humanity.
understand. His
You asked me
purpose
what
was
was
to
his purpose,
sacrifice.
not giving you a
I'm
this
not
is
asking you.
was
I'm
that a
telling you.
rhetorical
Tell me
question.
what the Bible was. What
Oh,
it
that
said
was
in
a
the Bible.
rhetorical question. Okay, go ahead.
And let me just finish. Let me just get this out, please. He was the sacrifice for our sins, for our fallen nature, because we couldn't rescue ourselves. So he had to take the fall for us. He was the fall guy, basically, right? So this is what was going on from the very beginning. After Adam and Eve fell, right? Satan made claim to them too, like, all right, so now they're my under my jurisdiction now. But Christ came to prove that a human being in this form could not sin. And that's what he did. And he took on all of our sins upon himself, sacrificed himself on the cross, and won us back to the fold of God, right? So, but at the same time, we still have to act and spread the gospel to our other fallen brothers and sisters. That's all it is. We are all one. Anything else is to divide us, right? That's all Christ came to do, was to bring us back into the fold. We are all lost sheep. That's it. It's very simple. It's all about love. The word love. That's it. There is also all this other stuff. Anyone can believe what you want to believe. But when you read the Bible, it's only talking about Jesus from the very beginning. Because Adam and Eve had to slaughter a lamb to send their sins up to God, and that went on throughout the whole entire Old Testament up until Christ came. Then He was the ultimate sacrifice, and then all of that, what do you call ceremonial system of worship stopped when Christ did that. So that's it. That's what He came to. That's what the Bible talks about. You can read it from the front to the end. That's what you'll find out. So all throughout the Bible, there has been a sacrifice for our sins. You started with the lamb, then it ended with Christ, and you go from there. That's it.
Is it over?
Yep, it's over.
Nice.
So, a pitching machine, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
I figured you'd be a little more redneck and build your own.
No.
So they're flying by the moon, a few.
Real quick, can I just say, has anybody ever seen that clip of the 3 or 4 black Hebrew Israelite dudes in New York making the young Jewish kid cry on the side of the road, on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Fucking
Cry more,
hilarious.
Khazar, baby.
Dude, that is so hilarious.
Judah mourns.
You know
Y'all
what's
ain't in
hilarious?
mourning.
What's hilarious is, Flurf's instantly auto-hoaxing the official NASA footage, but then posting obvious AI slop as they found a
What AI slop?
What AI slop?
Like what?
We call
What?
it goy slop around here, okay, Roohif?
what?
Get your terms right, dude. Get your terms correct.
What AI slop, Roohif?
Goy slop.
Goy
That
slop.
footage of the guy with the wrench on a spacewalk. What were the two yesterday? The one where the camera's rotating around to see the Earth, like the supposed 5th astronaut guy. There was a third one. I forget the third one.
And you found those inside of this server?
2 of them at least, yes.
Well, repost them. Let's see.
Yeah, one sec. It was from Torah last night. All right.
Roohif, are you going to be a flat earther soon, guy? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. So here's one.
Can you give me the actual footage? What was it?
Oops.
Because when I try to go back and look for the older
there's
live
one.
streams, they don't have it in NASA's website.
And the other one was.
Do you have the original footage from NASA?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it's not footage from NASA.
But where's
It's
the original
claimed to
footage
be.
from NASA?
The AI slop is not footage from NASA. It is
Again, that's not
claimed
what
to
I'm
be.
asking you. I'm asking you if you have the original footage from NASA.
Go and check NASA's website.
I've gone to the fucking live stream. They don't have anything other than conferences that they've saved live. The freaking Artemis shit is gone. All you have is at least, I think, probably 5 or 6 hours for today. Anything else is not up there.
Have you guys seen the images that they've posted?
There you go.
Hold on,
So
dude.
there's two in the chat.
I posted a.
Hold on, dude.
The gallery.
Hold on, dude.
I just put 2 in the chat.
Okay, so do you have the original live stream footage so I can actually verify that those are just slops, AI slops,
Yes,
and not
the
original footage?
second one, the one where I just replied to Geo, if you go to that tweet, it links to a live stream on YouTube.
A live stream on
Live
YouTube.
stream. The live stream does not
Is
have
it from
the green
NASA?
screen.
Oh, what up, Roohif? I'm glad you're
Is
back,
it
bro.
from NASA?
No, it's a CNN live stream with the
So
astronauts.
CNN, so not actual footage from NASA. So who do we believe then?
Right. It's a legitimate source, right? It's a claimed to be a legitimate source. It does
It isn't.
not
It's
have
third
a
hand.
green screen.
It is third hand, just like the one you just posted, right?
Oh, you're not getting the point, Elbo.
So.
Fuck's
No,
sake.
you're not getting
You're
the
not getting
point.
the point.
I want the actual footage from NASA, not a third hand, like you're saying that's third hand slop. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But
Listen,
if you're
Elbo.
giving me that the third person AI, whatever, how do I know that freaking the ABC CNN or whatever that has not done the same shit?
Listen, Elbo. Okay, can you see the one that I quoted of Geo's, where it's got the original and then viral video filmed off TV? Can you see that? I replied to Geo like a minute ago.
Yeah, so like you'd have to be a conspiracy theorist to think that that video on the right-hand side isn't real.
Okay, one is a live stream off YouTube, which does not have the green screen. All right, so someone could have easily recorded the live stream as it happened, and it does not have the green screen.
So, are you claiming that the people on the right video, they have an edited video?
Yes.
Okay, who did the edit?
I don't know.
Were they in on it, the people who are recording it?
Did someone make an AI slop video? Yes, that appears to be the case, given there's a
Answer
live
the
stream on
question,
YouTube.
sir.
Were they in it? And then also, do you know how to edit
don't know who it
on?
is.
Do you know how to edit on chroma key like that? That's the
don't.
chroma key edit. Remember the TFE thing where Duffy accidentally got the chroma key on? Do you know how to
Yep.
edit chroma key onto something like that?
I don't. Do you think it's
Yeah,
not
so
possible?
you don't know that it's actually done with AI. You just know that it's AI slop.
Sure. It's a live stream on YouTube does not have the chroma key. Do you understand that?
How do you know that?
There's a live stream on YouTube which does not have the chroma
Yeah, I
key.
posted all 3 of them. But how do you know
Right.
that this doesn't have chroma key on?
What? Are we arguing about a fact here? There is a live stream, a CNN live stream, right?
Yes.
Talking
I
to the
posted all
astronauts.
3 of them. I posted that
Right.
video that Geo posted after me. I posted the video of just the viral video filmed off TV, and I posted the
Hey,
YouTube
what's
live
the
stream.
source of that?
The source of the viral video filmed off TV? Don't know, but I wouldn't claim that it's
Right.
AI or edited. I don't know if it's AI or edited. You seem to know that it's
Well-
AI and edited.
Right, because we have the original live stream on YouTube.
Hey, just demonstrate how to do that edit or that
I don't need
or
to.
AI doing that.
Yes, you do. You would
How
have
is
to.
that
That's your
original,
claim,
dude?
bro. If your claim is that it's been edited, then you would be able to demonstrate editing a video the same way
No,
that
I
this
don't
one
have
has
to.
been edited.
We had this
Yeah.
conversation last night, Tora.
No,
You don't know
I
that
know
it's
for
ed-
you it
that's
was
fine. You
last
don't
night,
know that it's
but
edited.
time is subjective.
Yeah.
You don't
okay.
know that it's edited or AI then, because you don't know how to demonstrate that
That's-
edit
that's
or
a
AI as you claimed it.
non-sequitur.
You claimed it was AI.
It's a non sequitur.
No, it's not. You know
That's
that it's a
not. Do you
thing,
know
but
what
you don't
non
know how to do it.
sequitur means? Dude, non
Yeah, the
sequitur
argument doesn't
means
follow.
that your premise is the conclusion doesn't follow. Okay, so you're giving a non sequitur argument. You're saying this must be AI slop. I have no
We're up in the
idea
fucking
how,
weeds
but
here.
I just know it is. That's non sequitur. It doesn't even follow.
Right. I don't need to show how it was
So why do you
done.
project what you're doing onto others?
Well, it's like your whole strategy is to derail the conversation like you did last night. We got so far off in the weeds. We're
No,
not
you're
doing that.
saying that it's AI, which presumes you know that it's AI. Is it AI or is it edited?
Well, why
AI,
does it matter?
CGI,
Because even with
whatever.
the live
Fake.
footage,
Except
you guys say it's not real and it's being fake. So why does that even have to matter?
Live footage can be edited after the fact in case, you know, they make a mistake.
right.
How do you
Did
know
they
that?
do that? Given that
They're
someone
doing
could
that.
have
We
recorded
do.
it.
How do I know that, Awaken? Because SpaceX has done it, and Jaren made a really long video ranting about how like only some companies are allowed to do this, and his channel's
How
not.
did they catch that? How did they catch it?
He had an original video of SpaceX, and
Nice.
then after the next day, it was a different video, but it was
Right.
still the same live stream. It had the same like YouTube code. It had the same upload date. Everything was
Yep.
the same, other than the footage was different. So I'm asking you how you determined that this is AI or an edit. If you don't know how they could even do that, you're just saying it? You don't have any proof of that?
We have a live stream which anyone could have recorded.
Non sequitur.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I give up. You win,
It's
Galley.
live
You win.
streaming right now. Look, I linked it. They're floating. It's showing the cockpit area. Do you think this is being edited right now? I posted.
Do you think
it
this is like live as in like doesn't have any delay?
Well, yeah, this is supposedly live from NASA. Oh, it just went back to the moon shot. But if you go back like 10 seconds, it just switched right now. If you go back like 10 seconds, you can see them floating inside the
I'm gonna
cockpit.
show you something, and let me know
Do
what
you
you
think
think
this is
about
being
this.
like edited or on
Okay,
the
I'm gonna
go
show
or
you
it's
something, and let me know what you
pre-recorded?
think about this. Okay, so I just posted something in the chat. What do you think about that?
Let me see. Where is this?
What is this fix-ups?
Not all tweets will play in Discord. You have to add that to it to make them play in here.
It's a way to make it embed, because not all Discords will embed the video. So if you had fixup for x.com, it'll embed it so people can just play it from Discord. They don't have to click a link.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know
You
about
also
this
do
video,
VX
Galley.
squared.
I don't know the source of this.
You can see the source of it right above her. It says ESA, European Space Agency.
Yeah, but like, is the video edited or it's not? I don't know. Somebody else is reposting this
You tell
on
me.
X. I don't know.
You don't know based on just looking at it.
It
Kind
looks
of
like there's edited on the top
undermines your
left,
point.
but
Yeah, this is live.
I don't know if this is a real like this is somebody called Bitcoin High posting a video on X.
No, it's
it's a
the
real video.
legit
So,
original.
how would you determine whether or not this is a real live video or not?
Well, they've done some special effects, right?
Yeah.
And then she plays with it just the same way that they play with the plushie in the other video. Right? Silence is deafening.
And by the way, this was a live stream.
Yeah, the live stream
Well,
right
they
now is
have to
showing the moon, but it
demonstrate
was
if
showing
this
them
was edited or
inside.
not, right? Because their claim is that they know when a thing is edited by looking at it or
Yeah,
something. So is this edited or not?
Yeah, some CGI effects, yes.
Yeah, and is it live?
I don't recall.
Mm-hmm. So you can't tell from just looking at it if it's edited or live? That's interesting.
I literally just said it's some CGI they've done. We all agree on that.
It's actually called augmented reality and chroma key.
Okay.
Not CGI. A little bit different.
I don't
That's
think
the old
it's augmented reality. I think the plushie exists. They just masked out a bit of the screen, right?
Is this your first time looking into chroma key, Roohif?
They no. That's
I
not
think he's
chroma key.
just stunned because this has been done before. He seems stunned.
I'm stunned that you'd bring up such an obvious example. Yes.
Yeah, it's an obvious example. And then if you look at the video that you posted, which has both angles, that plushie is also the same thing. It ends up blending in with the orange strap to the left of it, and it's in front of it, it's behind it, it drags the orange upwards. It is very clearly the same technology.
Hang
That
on,
plushie's
is
not
your
there.
claim that the plushie in the Artemis one augmented
Yeah.
reality?
Yeah,
Why?
because I've seen it done before.
That's not augmented reality. It's a real plushie.
How do you know that?
Why would it, why is it not? They're handling a real object.
Are they?
Yeah. Why is it? How is
How
it
do you
not a
know
real
that?
object? Because they're holding it. Why would you suggest it's augmented reality from that?
Because with augmented reality, you have the ability to do exactly what she's doing in this video that Levelist just reposted. With
Right, but
augmented reality,
clearly
you can interact with the thing, and it'll appear like you're interacting with it, but it's not really there.
Understood. But
What
clearly
about
that ISS one is just that they've masked over a portion of the screen.
How do you know that?
Because it's
You
fucking
just
like,
learned
that's how
what
you do that
augmented
thing.
reality is.
Galley, do you have the one where he thinks he's grabbing it, but it doesn't show up on the screen and he's just grabbing nothing?
Yeah,
He
there's the
moves his hand.
baseball
Rick
cap one as well.
Matraccio. Rick Matraccio, whatever.
Baseball cap one. That's a classic.
Yeah,
I
that
look,
one.
I get it.
That's not what happened in that one.
Look, I get it. There's like a newbie. You know, he doesn't know about augmented reality. That's okay.
Sure. Why would you suggest?
Yeah,
it's
let's pull.
augmented
We should pull
reality
up the
when
one where
when
he's
it's not?
grabbing air.
Yeah, the baseball cap one's a good one.
Yeah, that one's terrible. You should pull it up. It's terrible.
Yo, with
I
all the
don't
money we've
currently
been
have that
giving
one, but
NASA, why do they suck so bad? Like, there's no excuse.
I don't
Talking
have
about
that one
this guy?
already, Pinky. If you have that one, I mean, it's in one of the like NASA bloopers videos. They play that a bunch, but it's
Yeah,
pretty
I've
obvious.
seen it. I've watched the whole video. It's a very disingenuous clip for sure.
100%. Yeah. You mean this one, right?
Yep, that one. Like, if you guys fall for that and you don't actually just go watch the whole video, that's on you. But that one's really bad.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's
So
terrible.
my link at 40 minutes past, Galley, shows how many times this astronaut goes to clasp his hands together, and also how many times he goes to grab the rail with his right hand. He does it constantly.
Yep. That Galley doesn't care though.
Yeah, because he's a disingenuous twat.
You posted a screenshot. Is that? Is there a
Scroll up.
video?
Yes.
Okay, you said my
Just
link at
before.
40 minutes past. Where's the video?
I just see a screenshot there.
No, scroll up a bit more.
You said it's at 40 minutes past.
Yep.
Scrolling up more.
Yeah, like
Don't see
3
it.
more messages.
Yeah, it's right there. 340. I see the video.
340.
Oh,
hang on,
30
it's up.
minutes
Sorry.
past?
Phew. 40. It's like 3 messages up from the screenshot.
Okay, I see the screenshot. I'm just looking right now.
Fucking post it again.
Rick Mustachio,
Yes.
that video?
Yes.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right. Get back to me with the number of times that he puts his hands together and the number of times he grabs the railing. It's 1,000. 1,000.
Seems like you're trapped in the curse of gullibility, brother. Gullible are you?
Well, he's not gullible enough to just watch a tiny clip of a video and then make claims about it. He went and watched the whole thing, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. We
Yeah,
shouldn't
okay,
do that.
okay.
But actually, he did do that. Roohif did do that. I didn't do that. Roohif said
Do
that. Yeah, you did. You said that the
did
one
what?
video. Shush, bud. All right, just kick back a bit. The one video, you said that it's either edited or AI. So I asked you, Do you know how to edit a video to make the chroma key appear on top like that? Or do you know any AI that's able to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to know.
Okay, so you just make claims
The
about it.
curse of gullibility.
Right.
No,
So
I
you're
have
doing
a
the thing that
YouTube live
Pfinky just
stream
criticized.
from CNN.
And you can edit YouTube live streams.
Right,
Well,
did
some
they do
channels
that?
can, not all channels.
Yeah. Do you think CNN can? Or just Elon?
You know, you know what
Oh, so
green
you are aware that
screen
you
is,
can edit
right?
YouTube live streams.
Hey Gilly, is part of the curse of
You-
gullibility, is part of that linked with the sunken cost fallacy? That like the more one believes it, the more one has to sink in. Like the more one gives that
Yes.
gullibility over to, the more they're sunk in, and then the sunken cost fallacy, like they can't get out of it without having to reverse the whole script on it, and therefore the sunken cost kind of plays into that curse of gullibility that you were talking about.
100% agree.
Yeah. I think that's very close. Like in the worldview that we're speaking of, it's like speaking to a person and telling them that their wife has been unfaithful. Their whole worldview is then unfaithful. Of course, it's going to be the sunken cost fallacy, like the anchor that it was so expensive, but the guy's standing in the ship and it's sinking, and he doesn't want to let go of the anchor because it's too expensive, but it's causing him to sink.
I mean, it goes both ways, right?
Correct.
So somebody that's like heavily invested in NASA being fake would have the same. They have the same sort of thing going on, right?
That is correct. Yes, and it's good that you could point it out. But however, pointing it out is technically called the tu quoque because that's not on the table, right?
I mean, why
Yeah, but
would he just
technically, it's not really the
making
same
an
though.
argument. I'm
'Cause
just
it's not really the same though, because one of them is asking you to believe something. Like NASA's putting something out and saying, "Hey, we are going around the moon with these dingy, fuzzy pictures that are completely like look like they're from the 70s. Like this is we are going around the moon." They're making a claim. So if we then have an option as the people of the world. We could say, I'm not going to believe that. I'm just going to stay neutral. Or maybe I would say I don't believe it or don't think it's true. But either way, there's those options. The other one would be to buy it, to say, oh, I believe it. They're really doing that. So one of them, you're buying into it and actually accepting it. And then therefore there's something, in terms of that energy of it. If you're just neutral or if you're not believing it, then it's not the same level of like you're not actually buying anything. You're just choosing not to buy it. So if you buy it, then there's a sunken cost and a whole component that goes in with that, that sunken cost kind of fallacy component. Whereas if you're not doing that, then you're either staying neutral on it or just not believing it. Therefore, you're not really sunken into anything. Or you're not
Yeah,
buying anything that way,
like postponing judgment on it. Yeah, you haven't bought anything, so you're just agnostic. Yeah, that's a
Right, so
really
I'm
good point. Yeah.
agnostic about this thing, right? So if the claim is made that one of these videos is edited, either the NASA video or the filming a TV, or it's AI, and just demonstrate to me someone else editing or using AI to produce a similar result. It's a very specific thing to do, right? To put chroma key on something after the fact. So if you can demonstrate that to me, I'll believe that possibly that one is edited or AI. But no one's demonstrated to me that you can do that type of edit or use AI to make that type of video.
Yeah, and Roohif trying to point out that he touches his hands or puts his hand in that same way, completely wrong. I just went through the whole video, and the only time he made that gesture, that he was he was grabbing something, giving it to the other hand, and putting it on the freaking wall, on the counter or whatever that thing was. It's that one time.
He just keeps it there. It's not like he reaches there
That's
30
not-
times, which is what Roohif
He
fraudulently
does.
claimed.
I don't think you watched it. I don't think you watched it.
Elbow, we went over that this morning with Roohif and pointed that out to him, and you know what he said? I gotta go walk my dogs.
Dude, you said he reaches there 30 times in the video. He leans over to grab that thing, holds on to it for a while, and then when does he do it 29 more times like you said he does?
He goes to
Fraudulent
clasp
claim.
his hands together a stack of times. He grabs the
Oh.
railing a stack of times.
Yeah,
The
but
one
that
time-
gesture was the one time.
Yeah, the one time he goes to put his hands together, changes his mind and grabs the railing. That's all that happens.
Yeah, right when he's being handed an augmented reality baseball cap, and we know they use augmented
Not
reality.
anywhere near him.
Yeah, that's the problem. You have to check the screen when you're using augmented reality to know where the thing is.
Yeah, the idea is it was like a miss.
So I'm
misfire.
halfway through it. I'm halfway through it, and he's reached out and grabbed it a half dozen times, or I'm a third of the way through it.
And every time he grabs it, he looks at the screen.
I'm late to the party. Can I get what y'all are saying he's doing, Roohif?
It's
Like-
a red herring. It has nothing to do with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
argument about how the other thing is either AI or an edit, where the burden of proof that this could be done with AI or an edit has not been met.
Well, I
You
don't
just said
think they even hide the fact that they edit or say that they don't. I don't know about the live or whatever, but they edit like those characters in there that they grab. So they're showing you that a character's not there, and then they edit it in however they do it, and then they grab the object. I mean, that's their footage. That's not someone on YouTube making that up. But I'm wondering, the guy that I think I know what you're talking about. It looks like he's going to pass the hat, and he doesn't, and the guy like reaches for it and goes to put it away. What are you claiming that he's actually doing if he's not? Like someone else's claim is that he's grabbing a hat and misses it, or the augmentation's off. What are you claiming he's doing?
Right. In the full video, which I'll link my my cut of to you as well. One sec. In the full video, he clasps his hands together like that, probably a dozen times. He grabs the railing about a dozen times. All that's happening in this bit, in that 3 or 4 second clip, is he goes to clasp his hands together, but then decides to grab the rail. The cap is nowhere near him.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
The
waiting for
cap's
you to
nowhere
show
near him.
evidence that the other clip is AI, but you haven't been able to produce that.
Okay, but your claim is that
Galley
he's
wants to get
grabbing
off
the
this
rail.
this clip.
Yes.
No, I just want to stay on the other clip and not go to the red herring.
Well, you claimed that this
You
one was
want to get
a
off the
bad
other
example.
clip, and now you're accusing me of wanting to get off this clip. You want to get off the other clip where the claim was explicitly, this is AI or an edit. So I said, okay, can you show me how someone can edit or use AI to produce such a thing? So then you brought up this other clip, you and Roohif. You actually brought it up, and then Roohif brought up a video of it. You went to go off that other clip. So now you're accusing me of doing the thing that you did, which is deceptive.
Oscar,
I didn't bring it up.
nailed it in the chat.
Yes, you did. You said like
I
that other
didn't bring it
clip,
up.
like that other clip, and I said the one where he passes the hat, and you said, yeah, you actually did bring it up. Your memory is just bad. You're actually the one who brought that up. Several times when we were trying to talk about the current thing with Artemis. So you actually did bring it up, and your memory is just terrible.
No, I don't think it did.
Hey,
Levis, that's
go back
my
and look it
video.
up. You brought it up.
Roohif, do you remember me bringing it up?
I know that I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, see,
So
he's
I
just
don't know who
dishonest
did.
and trying to cover for you.
Here, I'll go to the live stream. I'll go to the live stream and find it.
Yep,
And then
you
if
brought it
I'm
up.
right, you'll apologize to me.
Yep.
Right. Anyway, Levelist, do you understand that this is my cut of the live stream?
Yeah,
show
my
him.
question is, did you the thing that what's the reason we brought this video up? Because we said he was reaching for a chroma key that wasn't there. So my question is, did you edit that out? If this is your edit, did you edit it out?
The bit that Flat Earthers talk about? No, that's at 4 minutes 40.
Okay.
So can I just go back? Like I'm not even saying that he's grabbing the hat and misses it or whatever, or something else is going on. But your claim is that he's clutching his hand. He's going to clutch his fingers together, and he doesn't do that, and then he reaches for a rail to his right.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at the video that I tagged you in, he does that probably a dozen times.
In that same motion, like I get what you're saying. I'm gonna go watch the video to be fair, but it's a strange motion, right? I guess you would say he's in space, so it would look strange, but
No, he just changes his mind for this one.
All good. So
Yeah.
even if this video does depict that, it's a red herring for the main claim, which is on the Artemis. Roohif said that either AI or editing is how someone came up with that video. So I just asked him to reproduce that or show anywhere where someone's able to chroma key over a small little portion like that after the fact. And also, if they're able to with AI, show that. And then
I don't need to demonstrate that to you. If you make claims
okay, so
about
you have
the
no
Artemis
reason to
footage at
believe
all,
it.
do you think
So
it's
you have
not
no reason
possible?
to believe it. You don't even know that it's possible.
Of course, it's possible. Someone can do that.
Okay, show me. Show me that it's possible.
Okay, hang on. This is a request coming from someone that thinks that all of the footage is fake.
I didn't say that.
Okay, is it real?
I didn't say that. You're making a
So
claim.
you're an I don't know.
No.
Either.
Look,
Okay.
see how you're trying to okay here? You're trying to force the burden onto me. Your claim, this is AI or this is an edit.
And I
That's
don't need
your
to demonstrate
claim.
it to you.
And I'm saying, show me how that's possible. And then you'll do every single deceptive tactic in the book to not show me that that's the case. You just believe it.
It's coming from someone that clearly thinks the footage that is coming from NASA is faked. And you're
Doesn't
too
matter
fucking
where
chicken
it's
shit
coming
to
from. I
claim
can
it.
believe we live on a pancake. It doesn't matter. Your claim
But
still
you're too
remains on the
chicken shit to
table.
claim that it's
Your
fake, right?
claim
Because
still
you
remains on
know
the table.
that you're being a
Dude,
fucking hypocrite.
I could say every one of your claims comes from someone who vaccines his kids and uses fluoride in his teeth. That doesn't make your claim less valid because I think that's a dumb thing to do.
Right. But it's a disingenuous claim because you think the
Yeah, it
footage
is
from NASA is
disingenuous for
fake.
me to claim that. I shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do genetic
Yes,
fallacies. So
I'm
anyway,
not going to
your
fucking
claim.
entertain it, am I?
So your claim is that it's either edit or it's either it uses AI. Show me anywhere where someone can use AI
I've made
or
my
edit a
point, Galley.
video to do the thing that you say is either edit or AI. You can't do that, so you go to all these tactics, deception, and fallacies. You can't do that.
I've made my point. You think the NASA footage is fake, so you clearly think it's possible.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so you're a fucking chicken shit.
No, you made a claim that
Levelist. Hang
something
on.
is
Hold
either
on.
an
Levelist.
edit. You made a claim
Levelist,
that
give me
something is
give me
either
10
an edit
seconds,
or
Levelist.
done with AI. You made a
Hang on,
claim that
Levelist, give
something's
me 10
either an
seconds.
edit or
Oh,
done with
Galley,
AI.
Galley.
You could either show another video that's edited in the same way or a similar way, or you could show another video that's either AI in a similar way or the same way, and I could say it's a possibility that this is an edit or AI. You haven't done that, and you just dogmatically state this is an edit or it's AI. We have no.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back at 10:40. Levelist said, "Galley, do you have the one where he looks like he's reaching out to grab something and he doesn't?" And you said, "Yes, I do." That's the video that we're talking about.
Hang on.
All right, sorry, I thought you brought it up.
So I'll accept your apology when you're ready.
I just said sorry.
turn
I
video
thought
on.
you brought it up because you kept talking about it after that.
Hey, Levelist, you ready? You ready for my toothpaste?
Please.
There's my toothpaste, champ.
Okay, so just for the audience, by the way, the claim of this is either an edit or it's done with AI has never been substantiated. We don't know if it's an edit or done with AI. We just have Roohif saying that it could be done. I don't even know if it's a possibility to do that edit or done with AI.
Yes, it is, Geo. That is my toothpaste.
Yeah, he's got it at his desk. He's got it at his
extra,
desk to show everybody how he hyperfluoridates.
Yes.
Extra fluoride.
Keep out of reach of children.
Yo, Roohif, you still out here shilling for the fucking SS op
Yes.
that brought the Nazis over to make NASA? You still shilling for them?
I am.
I thought you know that the first use of fluoride was in Auschwitz. I like that you're keeping up with the tradition.
Fluorine?
You know, fluoride actually. I think it's like first usage actually in the water supply was with in Auschwitz. So I like that you're keeping up with the Nazi tradition you got going on.
Real if you got bodied by the LeBron debates.
Say again? Bodied by?
The LeBron of debates.
Oh, Isa. Yeah.
I think the first time the first time we put fluoride in the water was when God did it. He put it in well water all through the southern United States.
That's such a bad point, Pfinky.
It's not. It's a great point. If you have a well, if you live in the southern U.S. and you have a well, you should get that water checked because it might be
all
dangerously
fluoride is the
high in
same?
fluoride.
Do you think all
You guys are
fluoride
doing
is the
everything you
same? You
can
think
to
God's
avoid
fluoride is the same as the
substantiation
fluoride we
claim.
put in the water?
The God's fluoride, if you get like a half cup of God's fluoride and eat it, bad things are going to happen to you.
I
Calcium
know, but
It's not
fluoride
good.
but
and sulfur
Talking to
fluoride are not the
Jesus when you
same.
got God's fluoride. Talking to Jesus when you got
they're
that
not the
shit.
same. They're not the same fluoride, dude. The fluoride we're putting in the water is, man-made poison.
But yeah, the first
That they're
usage
letting
of
them get
it
away with their
was.
fallacious claim.
I was
Yeah,
like the
don't check your well water. You'll probably be fine. Doesn't matter
What's
how
in your
high it
well
is. It's the
water?
good kind. It's the good kind of fluoride down there, the natural kind.
What's in the well water?
Fluoride.
What kind of
All
fluoride?
natural. There's a lot of
What kind
fluoride
of
in the.
fluoride?
It's the good kind of fluoride.
Okay, is it? Then why would we
Well, it's
check
the
our well
natural
water if it's
kind.
got good
It's the
stuff in it?
natural kind that God put there.
Okay, why would we check our well then if it's got the good stuff in it?
I was being sarcastic.
It's
It's
not
not
the
too
good
good.
stuff?
It's not too good. If
Really?
it's high, you're gonna want to do
really
something
being sarcastic,
to correct
Fine,
that.
red herring.
/whoosh.
Yeah, they
/whoosh
actually
from
put
Jeremy.
fluoride
It's
in the.
quite
They sell water for babies in supermarkets. They actually put fluoride in the water for the babies.
They fortify it with fluoride. They put extra.
Okay, I'll take this as a concession on the point.
Why do you guys do this to
yeah.
yourselves?
The
Like you
funny
guys be
thing is,
arguing
like,
the
that
weirdest.
there's a,
You guys be arguing like the weirdest shit. Like you're trying to like stick up for NASA and fluoride and big pharma and shit. You guys are off the hook.
No, I got to stick out. I mean, God put fluoride in the water, so it's probably. I'm sure it's there for a reason.
Is that the same fluoride as they put in the
no.
toothpaste?
The funny thing is,
The Pfinky?
No, it is
yeah. The
not. It
funny
is
thing
not.
is, like the analogy. There's a certain analogy that comes forth, and you're trying to stick to a point, but you can't stick to the point, and you go for the analogy just
I mean,
because you realize that your position is very weak.
I don't
whether
know. It's
that
just meta.
fluoride
It's
is
just meta
whether
stuff. You're trying to guess. You're trying to guess what I'm doing, but you're not inside my head.
whether God's fluoride is
No,
better
I'm
or not.
watching
Can
and
you
I'm
guys hear me?
listening.
Can you hear me?
No.
I hear Jeremy.
I just knew I was gonna get interrupted. I don't even know. We gotta go one
Well,
at a
Gilly
time,
was
guys.
kind of responding to him, I think. He was responding back to the point, I think.
Yeah, I'm just really
Go ahead.
trying my best to keep it on point and not going for the analogies or the diversions from the point.
No,
Yeah,
Jeremy, say your
fluoride.
point. I'm just saying, like he said a thing. Pfinky kind of rebutted him. I think, was just trying to semi-rebut. You know how it is if someone says something and you want to respond. But what were you going to
Yeah,
say? What were you going
the
to say,
fluoride
Jeremy?
was brought up. I brought it up because Roohif said, you think all the footage is fake. And this is coming from someone who thinks all the footage is fake. And I said, that's irrelevant. Doesn't matter what I believe as to whether or not this thing is true. It'd be like me saying you vaccinate your kids and you use like hyperfluoride in your toothpaste and then using that to discredit you. So I brought that up for that reason. So it was to point out how ridiculous it would be to make that argument because his claim is that the footage is either uses AI or it was edited. So I just asked, okay, can you demonstrate how someone can edit something or use AI to produce a similar or the same effect? And if you do, I'll believe that it's possible that it's AI or it's edited. And then he brought up all this other stuff. It's all a red herring from his initial claim. I just want substantiation for his initial claim that it's edited or it's AI. Show us that we can do that. If you show me it's possible, I'll believe that it could be the case. But right now, you haven't shown that.
Or we'll spend a half an hour on non sequiturs.
Right, red herrings.
Yeah, what it seems like is Globers are the biggest conspiracy theorists, actually. I think Roohif is one of the top conspiracy theories because he even rejects the story in the Bible, and you have to be major tops conspiracy theorists to do that.
Can anybody record the last in 20?
Cut out over.
Yeah, Roohif's the top.
I am the top Glober.
Yeah, Roohif. I always love Roohif because Roohif did remember Roohif when I was telling everybody about in plain sailing, this is a fact. They treat 600 nautical miles as flat. and then you did the video, and you were like what, like a half a mile off when you were calculating, right? Which is pretty damn fucking good if you're gonna like, because you figure like if over if over like 4 or 5 miles obstruction is getting in the way of a boat, then surely like over 600 nautical miles, like that angle is just bananas in compare, like at the scale that it's presented to us, if the horizon be where they say it is, and that it
10
be
degrees.
obstruction. Like I mean, like
It's not
it's
about
just insane to think that
curvature.
600 nautical miles we can treat that as completely flat and be fucking within a half a mile from where the fuck we want to be. And I love that you did that video for that, dude. I fucking love you
Yeah.
for that.
It's not about the drop due to curvature. It's about whether you can treat
No,
latitude
the
and
rest of
longitude
us
lines
understand
as
it is about the
almost
drop.
finished,
And
Easter. Almost finished.
sure, sure, go on.
Yeah. It's whether you can treat latitude and longitude lines as perfectly orthogonal, which you can over that sort of distance.
These
Right,
guys
but
don't believe that. We're looking for the real globe, dude. I'm looking for the real one. I don't know if you got it, bro, because a lot of people disagree with you.
well, it's that issue from I love that like that's so, and it's still taught to this day. Over 600 nautical miles can be treated as flat when you navigate. You know what I mean? And that's fucking cool as shit. Like I've always thought that was an interesting fact. A lot of flat Earth overlooked, and it's just because for effect in someone's head when they think about this, they think like you'd have surely these crazy discrepancies at 50 miles, 100 miles. You know what I mean? Like, and like it's just not there. Or like, and they admit it when they get to the brass tacks of having to actually navigate it. That you
I
could
want to
treat all
know
this
why
shit as
it's
flat.
not
And then
602, dude. Why isn't it 650?
I will say this too is also that like also think about it like this, because a lot of people the next thing Roohif will bring up will be like, well, after 600 miles you have to calculate that or that, which I mean, this is what's the paradox about this. I appreciate the celestial sphere and all of the globe also, but like for real, like the idea that you're gonna ever go further than 50 miles without checking your bearings and recalculating your heading and everything is ridiculous. So you're never actually going to travel any distance that you would necessitate taking in any curvature, because we can clearly travel 600 nautical miles and not have to take into account any curvature. So no one in their right mind is not checking their bearings and updating their shit within every 50 miles at least. So there's never any application for the globe when it comes to that shit. That
So then
blows my
an airplane would be doing that every 10 minutes, you're saying, probably?
It's got
Probably
nothing to
even
do
more,
with the
right?
drop. So I've
Well, no,
posted
the
some memes in the
600,
chat.
isn't that 10 degrees, right? So that's just 10 degrees. It's not that steep of an angle or anything. But at the same time,
Nothing to do
what's
with angle.
stopping you for doing that for 650 nautical miles?
Nothing. The error just gets bigger.
Okay, so
600 miles is
so
just an approximation.
okay, what about 700?
Yeah, the error gets bigger.
Okay, and the error gets bigger?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were saying the area gets bigger. I was like, yeah, I know.
Right. I've posted some memes in the chat at 4 minutes past. Plain sailing is actually good proof that the Earth is a sphere.
Sure it is. Yeah. And you know what though? My thing is, Ruif, is just in light of the fact that we can navigate 600 miles is flat. Just give up boats going over the curve of the earth. Just if you guys will give that up, I'll almost become a glober overnight. You would destroy flat Earth if you just give up Bill Nye's #2 list of the reasons why it's a fucking globe, dude. Just give that one up. I want a fucking concession, and then I'll consider the globe. But the ludicrous nature of the fact that you could navigate 600 nautical miles, but a boat's going over the curve of the earth right over there is just fucking retarded, dude. It's too much.
Well,
to
like your
ask.
radar doesn't work. Like radar's not going to work 600 miles.
Plain sailing, right, takes the cosine of the latitude. Do you know what that tells you, Issa? It tells you that the longitude lines converge at the poles in both hemispheres. It's a globe. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
wait,
got
Still waiting for the
Wait,
proof of
you're
AI.
stating that we can measure the latitude and longitude lines to the nth degree that we know that they would converge at poles, but we can't measure water curving 8 inches per mile
plain.
square. That's
I know you
kind
have.
of a far fetched idea, right?
I know you have difficulty with comprehension, Rakia, Right?
No, I
But
don't. You
the
don't have to
method.
insult. It proves that your argument is weak. And it makes me question how smart you actually are because surely you know that, right?
That's
You've
right. You're
insulted
I'll
people
not.
say it
twice.
again.
You
I'll say it
insulted the
again
other
just for the
guy
slow
and then
people.
you insulted me. I've spoken like 3 times. You insulted me 1 out of those 3 times, which proves, right? I'm just
I'll say it
asking
again.
if you know, and you're going to state as a fact that longitude, whatever lines converge at each pole, right? You've measured this, you can tell this, you can do that. You can measure so accurately that you know for a fact they do that. Surely you can measure the drop 8 inches per mile square of some water base.
Okay, I'll say it again. The method of plain sailing, right, takes the cosine of the latitude as the distance between longitude lines. Right, that
I
method
take the
therefore
cosine. I take the
tells
cosine
you
of a
that the Earth
rectangle
is a
or
globe.
a house form to prove that it's square. It doesn't mean that the ground underneath it is anything.
I don't know. Like you accuse me of oh, fuck.
No, I'm
If
just
you don't
asking.
understand that, if you
Don't
don't
you agree
understand it,
we should
Repair,
be
then
able
my
to
point
measure?
stands.
No, I'm just asking somebody who I believe is smart, right? If you're coming up with that and you've measured it and you know it works perfectly, right? You're stating it here on a public forum, so you actually are either deceiving us or you believe it, right? You yourself should be able to measure water curving 8 inches per mile square.
Yeah, done that. Right. But
Yeah,
the
post it right
issue,
now. Don't move on
yeah,
to
I've
anything else.
measured
Just
drops.
post that right now. Create a
I'll
Check it
look at it in a
out.
horizontal
minute.
line over static water and show the elevation
He
change
just,
from that horizontal
he
line that
just
water
told you,
curving down away from it.
dude. He just told you they can't do that because they're on a sphere. So there's no such thing as parallel lines. They can't make two parallel lines on a sphere. It's impossible.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
this is the
Rakia.
same
You've
guy who
made
doesn't believe in the dictionary because it makes up his own definitions. I don't know if he was joking or if he was serious, but he said it several times. But anyway, Roohif, you
Rakia.
understand, right? A horizontal line
I'm trying to
over
answer you, Rakia,
distance.
but you keep fucking talking.
Yeah, a horizontal line over. Yeah, it's a discord. Horizontal line over distance over, and then measure down to the water that curves down away from that horizontal line. You got that? Post it.
Right. So, plain sailing, I'll say it again, and hopefully you get it this time. I've never done plain sailing. I don't know how accurate it is, but people have used it in the past, right? Plain sailing takes the cosine of the latitude as the distance between longitude lines. If that's how it's done, then it's telling you the Earth is a globe because the longitude lines converge at the poles. Do
I
you
got that.
understand now?
I
Okay.
do
Oh,
understand that.
non
For the third
sequitur.
time, I do. But can we move on to what I asked? If
Sure.
that
It's
is
not a
possible,
non
right? If
sequitur.
yeah,
That's the
now
whole.
That
now
That's the
I'm
whole
argument
talking.
point of
doesn't
it.
follow. The
But
premise
Now
that's
is
the
I'm
whole
not
trying.
point of what we're
false.
talking about. That's the whole point of what we're talking about.
Yeah, but converging lines at the poles doesn't make the Earth a sphere. That can happen on a planar
Yes, it
surface.
does.
So it's not exclusive to a globe. Therefore, it's not proving what Roohif thinks it's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you just
definitely
curve
non
the line.
sequitur. He's saying it's impossible for it to be any other way, dude. That's retarded. He knows that's retarded.
You can
That's
have
why he's talking
converging
globers.
longitude lines. You can have converging longitude lines at two poles on a planar surface. So it doesn't. If you think that's a problem for the AE map, I hear you on that because that one only has one pole in which in the middle that the longitude lines would converge. So is that what you're claiming is problematic, Roof? Because you could say that, I suppose, if you wanted to, but it's not. It doesn't falsify a planar Earth. It's not exclusive.
What with
Having
the
the
dual
longitude
pole?
lines converge at two
It's not
poles.
called Lambert.
Right. At best, you can make the case that's internally consistent, but if you say if globe thing happens, therefore globe, it's affirming the consequent. You could
Well,
say
no,
it's
it's like
internally
you can't
consistent with the
use
globe.
like if you take the dual pole, you just have other problems. You just push them. You just push the problem somewhere else.
Yeah, the
Dude,
globe
did
has a
not.
In other
million
words, the
problems.
cosine of latitude would break.
Right.
It'd break in
Attacking
mid
another
latitudes.
argument
I'm
is
not
not
talking about a dual pole
justification of an
map.
argument.
I'm not talking about what somebody calls a dual pole map. I'm just talking about having two poles in which the longitude lines converge at either pole is not exclusive to a sphere. Therefore, it does not validate whatever Roohif thinks it does because it's not exclusive to that.
Right, and
But the
even if
Lambert
like
doesn't
there
work
was
either.
another case, attacking a different claim is not justification of your claim.
The Lambert doesn't work either.
Oh, it
So,
never works.
attacking
Did
a
you guys
different
catch that?
claim.
Yeah, if you attack a different claim, that doesn't justify your. So your
well,
position at this point,
claim
you
from
should
Geo
concede, and
is that it's not
yeah, you should.
exclusive.
Well, Roohif, you would at this point say, you know what, you're right. I can't claim the impossibility of the contrary because you're trying to make this like a reductio ad absurdum. And that's not, this is not a deductive argument. You're starting with induction, first of all. Okay, so you're not even going to be able to come to proof.
I'm responding to Geo. Geo said that it's not exclusive. Is he claiming that the Lambert map works?
I didn't say anything related to that, did I? So the obvious
So
answer would
no
be
claim.
that no one. I'm not talking about any map projections. I'm just talking about having longitude lines converge at two poles is not exclusive to a globe. Simply that, because that was your point saying that was your main point.
Exclusivity claim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but distance between
It would be a whole nother topic to get into maps and layouts and different ideas. I mean, we could jump to anything. We could say dark matter doesn't work on the globe, therefore that doesn't work. You know, we could make a lot of
I mean, but Gio, the crux of his point is that having the distance between longitude be the cosine of latitude. It's not. It can't work on any map. It won't. Like, so you said, well, we can make the poles work on this map, and you can make another part of it work on a different map. But
Are you claiming
overall, it doesn't
exclusivity?
work.
Are you
I never
claiming
said
it
the word
only
map.
works on a
I never
sphere?
said
And
the
you
word-
could listen.
never
I am
said the
claiming
word
it. You
map
could
once.
hold on.
You just
You
said
can
I
produce
said
a map.
multiple times. I never said the word map once. I never said that word. You're the one saying that. You guys are jumping to maps. You're doing a red herring. I never said the word map. We talked about whether longitude lines can converge at two poles, and it's not exclusive to a globe. That was all that I said, which is the
But
case.
the distance between longitude lines as the cosine of latitude only works on a sphere.
Yes, I agree with that.
Pfinky, what was your point? I kind of interrupted you, sorry, but I just wanted to make sure because you
That was
you
my
said
point.
it
What
was like
Roohif-
multiple straw mans because you were like you said this map and that map, and I never claimed a map in what I said. We could get into
Okay,
maps.
I heard you say dual pole, and I probably just put map on the end of it. So I apologize if that
I
wasn't
even
your
said the
argument.
word
But I
dual
was
pole.
making the point that Roohif made, which is that you can't. It doesn't. Having the distance between longitude be the cosine of latitude only works on a globe.
Prove that it doesn't work on any other thing. Prove the impossibility of the contrary.
Yeah, that can work on a planar surface.
You keep saying, you keep making these claims, Gio, and then when you're pushed on them, you just completely back away. Oh,
No,
I
it's
didn't back
your
away. I
claim
went
that
right
he's
into the point.
asking
What are
you
you
to
talking about? I
substantiate.
didn't back away at all. I said it's not exclusive to a globe. So how are you saying it is?
Show the example.
No, you have the burden of proof. You said it's exclusive to a sphere, so show that it's impossible on any other surface.
It is. You
Prove
could
the
just you
impossibility
can
of the
integrate
contrary.
over the surface. You know how calculus works. You can integrate over the surface, and it's always going to produce one shape.
If globe, thing works, therefore globe, do.
No, that wasn't my argument. That's a straw man. The claim is,
That is literally your
if
argument.
the
You don't
distance
realize
between
it.
longitude, if distance between longitude points is the cosine of latitude, that's the point. Then it's a globe.
Yeah.
That's
If
the actual
thing,
argument.
Then globe, thing, then globe,
Yes, when
right?
where thing is a condition that can only work when it's a globe.
You haven't proven any exclusivity. You just say it. So show that it's exclusive. Show that
I
it
just
doesn't work
said
on other
if you
things.
integrate that concept, meaning you can basically like walk along the
Okay, by
latitude
stating
points,
stuff, we
you're
can
going to
prove
end
stuff,
up
so
with
I'll
a big
state that you're
circle.
wrong. It's fine. Stating stuff, we can prove stuff. So I can just state that you're wrong. It's the same standard of evidence.
I don't know what to tell you. It's by any
Just
branch
you know,
of
you're just like,
geometry,
it happens a lot
it
in the
is a
Glob
fact.
argument. You're just restating the claim. That's just, I mean, it's just people do it. People do it on the flat side also, but it's just you're just restating the claim at this point.
Yeah,
Not
that's why
showing
when
why.
that's why when
Well,
I
the claim was brought
responded
up by
that it's not
ISA.
exclusive. I responded that it's not exclusive, and then Roohif tried to say that I was backing away, but I wasn't backing away at all. You would have to show how it's exclusive. So show how you think that's exclusive, because that can occur on a planar surface, just like an azimuthal grid does that. If you have two azimuthal grids, one in the north, one in the south, then you'd have two longitude lines that are converging. Outside of any like theories about maps or layouts of continents, that's not really. So how are you rebutting that to say that that only works on a sphere? Like what you'd have to do is be like, hey, this is exactly how it's exclusive to a sphere, and then that would have to be what you'd have to say for your point and show what how that is.
And also, I'd like a reconciliation for the fact that every time you look up any navigation video for anything from to how to be a layman and understand navigation, at every video, and especially actually now after 2015, they go, well, in order to do this, you need to treat the Earth as though it were flat, and then they go on a 5-minute fucking tirade about how, well, the Earth's not actually flat, but da 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 da. But anyway, as we get back to what we're practically going to do, we're going to treat the Earth as flat. Like, why do they do that?
They have to.
Because there's no exclusivity claim that Earth is a globe. That's why. That's why
It's
they're
a
dead silent right now when asked
Yeah, like
for
the Globe,
an
and even like I respect the Globe, and I think the Globe had an opportunity in like 2016, but it failed. And like I just think if you guys gave up, like if they gave up a couple certain points and conceded respectfully on certain other points, Flat Earth would have never succeeded, would have never thrived like it did if it weren't for these piss poor arguments. Like I remember when people used to come in with the Baumgarten footage like it was proof of curvature back in the day. And then they've had to walk that back to now they realize they can't use that. But like they used to be a serious fucking it was brought in. Like it's pathetic.
Yeah, they would have had a better time if they just focused on rhetoric only instead of claiming science.
Dude, I would have been if they gave up boats going over. If they would have been like, "Yo, guys, the P1000 or the P900 has demolished our understanding of what we thought was it. We thought the curvature was right. It was over there. Turns out we can't really detect the curvature. It's actually atmospheric conditions." If they'd have done that, like that's the holy mountain of flat Earth. They would have they made the holy mountain out of a molehill. You know what I mean? They made the flat Earth holy mountain because their reaction was so pathetic in regards to our observations that the only conclusion was whatever the fuck those guys don't think it is because it's not what these idiots think it is. Clearly, like I mean, the Globe. If it's what I've been saying to these clowns, I hang out with the Globers because it's more exciting to me. But the fucking they're gonna wake up. If the Globe be true, right? These people are gonna wake up in a world surrounded by flat earthers, regardless, because people aren't gonna want to tolerate their nonsense for very much longer. I don't think.
crickets. So most operandi is claim exclusivity. When asked for any proof exclusivity, crickets.
Issa, that's going to be the easiest part. They love hanging out with flat earthers. It's like their favorite thing ever, like for years. So that's
I like you guys.
That part will be easy for them. That's an easy transition. It's not even a transition. It's just
Right.
life.
Well, I mean, but think of it think of the living hell for them when they're outnumbered at the coffee shop. You know what I mean? When they're like, it's not like the ha 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 and everybody's laughing with them. It's like when that changes. You know what I mean? When
We're outnumbered
when
right
everybody
here. It's not a
realizes
problem.
that those bastards tried to
Esau.
scare people offline and dox people because they were questioning the government. And like when that penny drops on people, they're just going to be like, you know what? Fuck you and your stupid globe. And my issue is that when that day happens, we need to make sure that our constitution is still well and protected. You know what I'm saying, boys?
Esau, when
Dude,
do you
these
think that day
people,
is coming?
dude,
I don't know,
they don't.
brother.
You have to be careful though, Issa, because you ask these guys if they believe where their rights come from is the same place that this Declaration of Independence says, and they say no, bro. So they're ready to get rid of the Declaration of Independence already.
Bro, they fucking think that mind-acted persons have a right to exist in society, my dude. So like they're gonna literally go down as because I've linked this since years ago that the Democrats were like the Globers, and I know I'm gonna part ways with a lot of flat earthers in the dynamic of politics, etc. But it's always what the left has been doing, and they're gonna people are gonna choose a religious flat Earth society over an atheistic don't know what a woman is fucking globe. Like that's what I think the choices have become, and it's gonna play out. I think in the good people's favor.
Disgusting. Love it.
Yo,
But then
do you have
but then if
rebuttal?
everyone becomes a fucking flat earther, I'm gonna be arguing for the globe. You know me, dog.
Rakia?
I fucking probably
Yeah,
will
bro.
be because I'll be like, hey, because here's my theory, and this is what I think the big news about flat Earth is, and I've been saying this for a little bit over here, You guys know it already. But like, it's the actual paradox that has actually propelled mankind and made us the geniuses that we are, God willing, right? Because we have this intellectual endeavor of trying to figure out space, which is unknowable. So for so long, you've had these intellectual debates between flat earthers and globers. And at the end of the day, no one had a position of superiority. So there was like, the arguments were genuine and no side could really be a tyrant. You know what I mean? Because there was no evidence. After the moon landing, and this is why I think the crux of the moon landing was to carterize the imagination of like the collective fucking hive mind, is like, I just think that they wanted to make it so that like you were, like they ruined a conversation our ancestors had been having around campfires for fucking ever. And they gave one side of the aisle the right to stand up and condemn the other side with some kind of etherical bullshit evidence like the moon landing. And they fucked up our society.
You,
And now we're righting the
You've been
wrong
reading
by
too
bringing
many
this
stupid books.
discussion back into the fold.
You've been reading too many stupid books.
No,
Everything you said was
what do
wrong.
you
just
think?
you.
What do
Respect.
you think he
Your
said? Then
assessment of history is completely fictional.
do you think it's possible people to be like flat earthers and think that you could still travel to the moon?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is possible, like, it could be rationalized. You know what I mean? I don't know if like, yeah, I don't know what it would take. Forgive me, I'm going to be busy for 1 sec.
You could be a
Yeah,
Glober and
yeah.
still think NASA's bullshit.
That's right.
That guy sounded familiar.
I'm a Bible believer, and I think there's a possibility that we could go to the moon. It would be like my interpretations of the Bible would be wrong. Like men can't ascend into the heavens is what it says, would mean something different than what I propose, that the sun, moon, and stars are in the heavens circuiting above, so man can't ascend there. But it would be a like hard to prove, because I don't think I'll ever be able to go there, or anyone that I trust would be able to go there, because the only people we can trust now are NASA. They're really the only people going there, and they've kind of proven themselves to be somewhat untrustworthy, if nothing else. But they're
Dude, the moon
that can
disappears,
be
bro.
debated.
What if it's just a psychological event, the sun and the moon and the stars? How
What
do
if it
we even know
disappears
that?
while you're on it?
Yeah, what if
Yeah,
it
I personally just
disappears?
think there are lights in the sky that we optically see. The sun could actually be totally in a different area if you factor in a firmament, like a crystalline hard structure that a light is shining through. It could project itself almost anywhere, and as multiple shades. During a foggy morning, the sun is actually really, really small and white, and on a sunny, bright day, blue sky day, it's huge and yellow. So that proves right there that it can change shapes, colors, size, when you're viewing it, just viewing it, not when you're maybe measuring it with something or using a filter
Okay.
or whatever they're doing. But
Did
on
you
that
see the
different type
Artemis
of deal.
astronauts get caught with the chroma key though?
Oh
Look
yeah,
you.
definitely. Yeah.
Rakia, right? Rakia, I gave you the video of measuring drop to horizontal with objects on land relative to sea level. But
I
you
haven't
like
watched it
want
yet, to be
something.
honest with you. Sorry.
Okay. All right. But you're claiming I have to do it over water or measure the actual water. How do you
No.
propose to
My
do that?
my theory, my best way, like the reason that I am a flat earther is because I tried my hardest to create a horizontal line over static water, and I measured from that line down to the water to see if it was curving. At the time, I was a Glober. It's fully expected it to curve. I didn't even know how much at the time, but I did expect it to curve because we live on a sphere, and it did not. So when I went and did my research and saw that
Hang
it
on.
should curve 8 inches per mile square, and figured out how to calculate that, and heard all the, goods and bads about that, and then did
Explain the
everything else,
measurement.
I was like, well, we should have had, over our distance, we should have had 6 feet or so, and we had like three
Okay.
quarters of an
Explain
inch.
that. Explain that measurement. Right? Did you use an auto level, and what did you measure? Did you use a theodolite?
Yeah,
What did you do?
yeah. How we establish horizontals on a daily basis, even today, to make a living, is a very easy. You can use auto levels or total stations, or we use
Okay.
laser levels a lot because they're the easiest. One man
Okay.
can use them, whatever.
What did
But
you
the
do to measure the
establishing of a
fucking water, Rakia? Did you
yeah, the
point an auto level at the
establishing of a
horizon?
yeah. I'm gonna explain it. but the establishing of a horizontal is just basic, surveying, and anyone can do it. You just take a benchmark. Our benchmark was 1.5 feet above, 18 inches above the water, and that benchmark is carried, over distance. And I'm just asking you, have you ever done that and measured down to the water and measured curved water underneath that horizontal line?
Yeah, and I said the only type of measurement that makes sense to me is to measure the angle to the horizon, which I've done literally
I
hundreds of
got you.
times.
No,
Right.
I heard you, but I'm asking you, you've never, and so your answer is no, you've never created a horizontal line over static water and measured curved water underneath it.
That is how I would determine curvature over water. Yes, the
Well,
horizon
there
dip.
are no angles in a horizontal. It would be zero. You agree?
Yes, but the horizon is
And when you
below
when you have
horizontal.
that and when you have that horizontal line over water that's curving from every point on that line, it's curving down, you would be able to just measure from the horizontal line or each point and measure to the water and get a curvature rate, correct?
Yeah, I measure to the horizon, which I've said now a dozen times.
That's
That's
faulty.
Right?
not what I
That's
said.
so silly. So what part of the
What are
horizon
you
are you
doing then?
measuring to? What part of the
Yeah,
horizon?
they have to go to the horizon. It's a simple like A, B, C. If you do it short distance, let's say 100 feet, that has nothing to do with the horizon. It's just establishing a benchmark, carrying a horizontal 100 feet, and then measuring down to the water. Of course, even on a sphere the size we live on, it would measure flat, right? But if you do it over enough distance, you should get a curvature rate.
Well,
If
Rakia,
you
dude.
leapfrog,
When he says he measures to the horizon, you've seen it. You have it in your picture right now. Sometimes you get the keyhole effect. So what are you
Right.
measuring to, bro? You saying I'm
Yeah.
measuring to the crisp line where the water meets the sky?
It's an
Well, I have
optical
news
effect.
for you. There's a huge band there that causes the sun to compress. That causes the sun to turn into a keyhole,
Yeah.
bro.
Or a
okay,
mushroom or a
are you
cloud that looks like a
leapfrogging?
nuclear explosion or a half sun or a three-quarter sun, like it makes it turn into a lot of things. You can't measure to that. I mean, you
Are
can,
you
you're just going to
leapfrogging?
be inaccurate.
Are you leapfrogging over 100 feet or whatever, some distance?
No, I'm asking you if you've ever done it, and I think your answer is no, but how would you do it?
I've told you that fucking multiple times now. I measure down to the horizon. It matches the predictions of a
No,
globe.
no, no, no. How would you do it my way? How would you extend, like if you put a ruler on a chalkboard and draw a line, and then you extend that ruler halfway into that line and extend the line to the left and go to the right and extend it halfway and extend it out. You have two rulers now, right? You have two
Right.
ruler
So
lengths of a horizontal line, right?
so extending that line in reality is you leapfrogging with your auto level, correct?
Okay, let's say yes.
Yes.
If that's the best
Okay.
way you think that we could do it, can we do that?
No, we've had this conversation before. That will not expose curvature.
We
Okay,
could
why
do it
not?
It
with
is
a square.
agnostic
We
to
could
the
do it
shape of the
with a
earth.
square and water
Why not?
levels, though. We
And
could, yeah.
hang on, let me finish this with Roohif if you don't mind. I'm sorry, I won't be
Sorry,
long.
no problem, Rocky.
Yeah, let's say you are on a curved floor. Your floor is curved at a certain degree. So much curved that you can notice it with your naked eye, all right? And then you
Right.
take a level and you make a level line right in the center of the room. And then you don't use the level anymore. You just use the straight line. Are you with me so far?
Right. Is the gravity vector
Oh
also
my God.
radial?
I'm not talking. Gravity would not be a factor here because you're only
Okay.
using the straight edge of the level. That's why I asked you if you were with me so far. So you
Yes.
use the level to make a level line in the beginning, in the middle of the room, and then you just use the straight edge to extend the line to the left and right till you get to each end of the room, like each other, the 90-degree wall. And then you measure down to the floor. If your floor is curving, you would be able to measure that curve, right?
Right, but it comes down to whether the the leapfrogging in reality is what determines that.
Right, but if you're leapfrogging with a straight edge, right?
Yeah.
If you move, even if you move your level and you come back a year later and you bring that straight edge back and you just use the straight edge to extend the line, it has nothing to do with gravity, whether your floor is curving or not or level. It just has to do with the straight edge that you're making with the level line, the
Right.
horizontal.
Okay. So when you go to extend that line, all right, if you're on a sphere, a big sphere, right, the accuracy at which you can extend that line just by lining it up with the previous line is far less than the amount of Earth curvature between those 2 points. Right? You cannot do
So
it.
you're saying it's impossible?
You can't distinguish between a globe and a sphere with differential leveling. No. We've had this conversation fucking a million times.
No, I'm just asking if you think it's possible any other way. Can you make a horizontal line? Can Roohif, one of the smartest people that proclaims to be a glober, right? Like the smartest glober alive, can you make a horizontal line long enough and accurate enough to measure down to the curved water?
There's two ways I can answer that. Number one is LIGO is an example of making a straight line, right, which had to take into account the curvature of the Earth. And then the second part, measuring down to the water, the only way I can interpret that is to measure the dip to the horizon. I can't think of any other way.
What do you mean? If you have a horizontal line above the water, you can measure from the line at any point to the water. And if the water or the floor
How do I
or
extend
any
it?
other surface is, I don't know why you interrupt, bro. If the
Do you want my
sand, the dirt, the water, or the flooring that you put in is curved, you can measure from that horizontal line, no matter how long it is, if the curve is drastic enough and your measurements are accurate enough. And the thing I want the audience to understand is when you're extending a straight line segment, the accuracy is never ever in one direction. It's going to be plus and minus. So you would eventually get to a point in distance that you've extended that straight line segment that if you lived on a sphere and the water does curve at 8 inches per mile square, sure as shitting, even Roohif could measure 6 feet.
Right. So the
I'm
question
done.
was, you keep
Y'all go
referring
on
to
with the
water,
stuff.
right? You keep referring to water, measuring down to the water, but you can either shoot one horizontal and measure the drop down to the horizon, or you can somehow leapfrog over to the water. How do you propose I set up a fucking auto level in the middle of the ocean?
Dude, you're talking to a dude right
I
now.
never said
Rakia,
the ocean. I
remember.
said static water. You just have reading,
Right.
listening
So how do
comprehension.
I leapfrog
Dude,
over the
this
water?
guy, dude, remember, this guy believes that the straightest he could get the drywall on his walls as 8 inches per per mile square. So this guy believes that his walls right now are curving at that rate if they were perfectly flat, right, Roohif?
Yep. Every building,
Say
every
Roohif,
metal
say it.
building.
Right,
Like
right.
Amazon's building. Amazon is so
Nothing.
smart. They
Yeah,
can get a package to your doorstep overnight, but they can't make a building that doesn't follow the curvature of the earth.
that's
Yeah,
it.
Put
No,
water next
LIGO
to it, you
needing
would
to
be able to
account for
measure.
it over 1 or 2 miles. I mean, the textbooks say over 100 square miles is treated as planar, but now LIGO's accounting for it over a mile. Give me a break.
No, they always go to LIGO
You
because
went
that's
for
in
it,
the
Anton.
script. But if LIGO did it, surely I could do it or Roohif could do it. I mean, it's not like they have these special tools or processes or methods that they're keeping from everyone.
Right. So the 100-mile area has nothing, again, similar to plain sailing, has nothing to do with drop over distance. It's about whether you can treat it as a Euclidean surface where triangles add up to 180 degrees. Once you get a bigger area than that, then you start to need to account for spherical excess.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You
Over
said that
100
LIGO
nautical
did it.
miles, the
You,
bottom line of a
yeah.
triangle would have to be curved.
Say it again.
Can I ask Roof a question real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let me just point out. I just want to point out that somebody made the claim that LIGO over 1 mile needed to account for curvature for the triangle, right? Yet we don't need to account for
Not for
curvature in
triangle.
a triangle for anything under 100 square miles.
No,
Yeah,
so
what was
not
up,
for
Beast?
triangle. Not for triangle.
Yeah.
The drop. You need to account for the drop with
I'll
LIGO.
tell you account for drop using a triangle, but what's up?
that's how I do it. I know that. You definitely need a horizontal baseline because you got to measure rise over run, right?
We're
Yeah.
talking about 3 points on the surface, and they're forming a triangle on the surface. If your area of a triangle is less than about 100 miles, then the amount of spherical excess is negligible.
Yeah, LIGO 1 mile. I heard you. What was up, Beast?
That's a drop.
So my
That's drop. No thanks.
I just want to make sure I'm steelmanning correctly. So would you agree that locally Earth is flat everywhere?
No, I would just say that it's indistinguishable from flat.
So yes.
No, I won't say it's flat because it's not.
Would you say it's locally though, like
No,
indistinguishably flat everywhere? Like all of us experience that, right?
the amount of curvature over a
In
small
our
area.
local reality, though, in our local reality,
The amount of curvature in a small area is negligible.
Right.
But you're saying a boat goes over a curve within 3 to 6, 10 miles. Like
in our local reality, yeah, that's the
It's a
problem.
larger area.
Yeah,
If
locally.
I'm building a house, I don't need to account for curvature.
What if you're watching a boat go over a curve in 10 minutes? You can't measure that curve? Roohif, come on, man.
Well, that's not even why I brought that up. I brought that up because you can't measure anything non-locally.
Well, you could try sending radio signals to the boat, see if they get blocked by anything like the water.
You're gonna need another person in his local location for that measurement.
Exactly. You can't get away.
You could put a whole bunch of boats up there, send the radio signal out, see who can get it and who can't, and you'll find that somewhere along that line, something makes it so that radio signal can't get through anymore.
It's not exclusive to a sphere, that claim at all. Okay, even if it is the case that does happen, there's no exclusivity in that. So why do you think that's
There's
a
not. It's
rebuttal?
just one piece of evidence.
No,
There's
it's
no
not
valid
evidence.
explanation
It's
for
a
why those
bad
things get
argument.
magically blocked.
It's a bad
ADS-B
argument.
is great for that, Pfinky, because the signal from a plane just drops off as it goes over the horizon.
Right.
You guys think
So if I place
fallacious
this in-
arguments are evidence of something? How can you affirm the consequent in front of the
It's
whole
not
room?
it's not a fallacious.
Yes,
It's
it
science.
was
It's
100%.
inductive.
It's, if the Earth is a sphere, then this will happen. Therefore, the Earth is a sphere. Dude, you're affirming the consequent all over the
we're not
place.
saying the
We're
last
saying
You're
it
just
is
using
not.
induction.
I'm
You're
just
using
saying.
induction.
No, you're not, because if it was induction, you would be considering other things. You wouldn't just
Yes.
be sphere
We'll
only,
consider it's flat.
sphere.
No. We'll consider that it's flat. We'll consider it's flat.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. It's flat.
It's not about considering it's flat. It's about considering all variables.
And now you're just moving to a
consider
tu
all options.
quoque.
Let's get
Dude,
all
you're
options on
going
the
to a
table.
tu quoque fallacy now at this point. It's ridiculous. Don't just admit your argument isn't affirming the consequent.
Just admit the only thing you know how to do is say fallacy, fallacy, fallacy.
Well, dude, it doesn't make sense to have a bunch of evidences that all are in the form of fallacious arguments and then go, that's how we know it.
It's just science. We hypothesize, we observe something, we hypothesize, we go out, we test our hypothesis, and then that feeds in the evidence we have to either support or not support a conclusion.
Yeah, but what you just described, right, can easily be thwarted by another variable. How about tropospheric induction? GG.
Not a thing.
No, it's, I mean, like we can. It doesn't. No, there are all sorts of things that can affect radio waves. You don't think we could design an experiment to eliminate those things? It's not like we don't know about them.
I think Bull Knight's going on the not a thing list.
That's crazy, Bull Knight. You would be the first one
No,
to
it's good.
introduce
Bull Knight.
that.
Tropospheric induction is not a thing. Maybe ducting, maybe you misspoke, but tropospheric induction is not a thing.
Well, that's
He
what
meant.
it's
That's
called.
what he meant. We know that's what he meant, Bull Knight.
Tropospheric
Be nice.
induction?
They call it the scattering E layer or whatever. It's fucking retarded.
Not induction. Literally.
Well, whatever. Bull Knight,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
already
I mean,
agreed. You already agreed to this argument in terms of like if we could actually redo the Battle of the Beams, for example, right? Oh, by the way, check this out, Bull Knight. It's kind of separate. I'm gonna send you a paper I found. It's like the German. It's like this crazy archive, and I know you're gonna go nuts on it and see if you can find anything. But what you were saying, Pfinky, though, like, is that the argument you're gonna stick by in terms of like an argument that you want to present that's mutually exclusive?
It's not like it's just one piece of evidence that supports one view more. Dude, let me finish. It's an argument that supports one position, one worldview better than the other one.
Yeah, but it's not.
Better.
So it's not mutually.
And it's affirming the consequent.
It's not mutually exclusive.
Thank you.
But there is no. I haven't heard any explanation from the non-globe side. But
if the Earth were flat and temperature inversions existed, we would have bottom-up extraction. We have bottom-up extraction. Temperature inversion does exist. Therefore, the Earth is flat.
Yep. You can make
Oh,
the same
you're
argument.
done.
But yeah. See, that's why it's affirming the consequent. So
Wait, was that sounded
yeah,
like Jake on the? Was that Jake on the plane?
It was. He's got a high
yes.
IQ.
Yep.
No, I mean that one fails because it fails on understanding the temperature inversion part. But
No, it fails just.
but like, let me put it this way. Let's take that one first. Do you want to take that one and we'll tease it
the
apart?
form is wrong. You understand when I mean the form is wrong? That means we don't learn things or prove things when we put things in invalid forms. That's why
Okay,
we
but I know how
have
much you hate.
reasoning
I
and
know how much you hate
logic.
this.
Dude, no, this is the purpose of why my argument is what it is because reasoning and logic are meant so you can think rightly, righteously. Okay. And you're
Okay.
not doing that. You're saying we can affirm the consequent all over the place and then just call that evidence.
No, I just understand science. You don't. You think I'm trying to make a deductive argument, and I'm not. So you keep hearing something, and then it triggers something in you think about philosophy and these like fallacies, and it triggers something, and then you say that.
You just admitted
But
it.
I'm not making a deductive argument.
Yeah, you just got triggered, dude. So I don't know what the fuck you're trying to prove.
Yeah, you also admitted
Yeah,
that
you
it's
tell
not
him,
mutually
Tori, you got
exclusive.
triggered.
Well, no, you did by answering in such a fucking shallow way. Yeah, you definitely got triggered.
Now, okay.
No, it's just Tori and I play this game. He hates
Dude,
philosophy.
it's a big point that I'm making here, Pfinky,
like
and I think I think you realize the point that I just made, and it's okay, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to think rightly. Okay, that's my whole point.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think I was making a deductive argument, mutually exclusive deductive argument about radio waves?
Asking for. That's what
Then
we're asking.
what are we doing here? What are we just shooting the shit? Because I'm looking for arguments that are mutually exclusive and deductive. Okay, that's how
okay.
you preserve truth. I don't know if you're looking to do that or not.
Well, I'm just saying you're going to be very disappointed in science. Everything you're using, your phone, your computer, like your
I already
car,
brought
all that
up,
stuff.
dude. You can't run the scientific method through the scientific method. So we know that is a pragmatic way of figuring things out. Pragmatism is not where knowledge ends. Okay.
Pragmatism is great. I'm pretty content with it.
If the Earth were flat, we should be able to produce a flat map to scale in which you could measure the accurate distance between any known locations on the flat Earth with just a ruler and applying the scale. That map does not exist, therefore the Earth cannot be flat.
You did it again, dude.
Not, yeah, that's not.
You did do it
that's
again.
Not
Dude, you have to just switch those, okay? Just switch the Earth is flat. Be that the third thing you say, okay? You know how you're going P, Q. Make sure you do P again.
P's and Q's are going to confuse
Unless you're trying to perform a modus tollens and say the Earth, you know,
what do you
is
mean?
flat. I don't know.
I'm fine with the P. I actually think that we should just talk about the
No,
P,
I didn't
which
say
is
that backwards. Why are you saying that wasn't affirmative consequence?
come from?
Because you started with Earth is flat and ended with Earth is flat.
he did. He said if Earth is flat.
I said if the Earth is flat, it would be like saying if it rained, the ground should be wet. The ground is not wet, therefore it didn't rain.
That's the textbook one they give you on. Are you
No.
saying so that's
Don't
modus
do
tollens?
this. No,
You're
it's
trying.
not.
No,
Are you
it
making
is
textbook
rational.
one?
It is. Jake is
The
always pretty good,
textbook
man.
one would be the textbook one would be if it rained, the ground would be wet. The ground is wet, therefore it rained. That's the textbook
Yeah,
one.
I hear you.
But
So
if you say,
you're running a
but
modus
if you say,
tollens.
yeah, it's a completely logical argument.
Yeah, it is logical, but it is also. I mean, it's such a grand subject, though. You know what I mean? So, but it is a logical statement, dude.
And we're looking for the real globe here. We're not looking for, the Earth's not flat, therefore it's a globe. We're looking for the real globe. So it would have a good deductive argument.
Well, yeah, even like Jake, I think a lot of us in here would admit, like, you're right. Okay, we don't have that map down, so it's not that, or something else is going on with our measurements. You know what I mean? Like, you're right, though. And I think most people in here would concede to that statement. And they don't actually, nobody in here probably holds to the azimuthal equidistant projection as much as I do. So I just doubt that, like, most flat earthers are not going to agree that it's a azimuthal equidistant projection because that's what you just debunked, right?
No.
No, I don't care about the AE map. There should just be a flat map of the
I was reading
realm that we
into it
live
too much.
on.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, Jake. What do you mean a flat map? Like
Like a map that you could put on a flat table that you could put the map down. You could take a ruler and measure any points between that map and get the accurate distance between those two locations.
So you want it?
By
fixed
applying a scale. By applying a scale,
That's
right?
that's a local maps do that, and all the local measurements match. All
Of
local
the
maps
entire
do that.
globe.
No, we're
Okay,
talking
then
about
piece
okay.
them all
Well, the
together.
argument about
Piece
the
them. Hold on,
entirety
just
is
piece
you
them all
can't know the
together, and then we'll have the
entirety.
big one.
No, dude, that's not exactly how it works. How do you know creation works like that, and why do you expect it to?
Why do I expect it? You can. Hold on. He asked a question, and then everybody interrupts. All right, whatever.
Sorry.
Well, no, all
I don't
of
need to
that
get
comes
in.
from the celestial sphere. Just let that be known. Like they're the only reason for this like globe anything is because they're looking at the stars and saying that is what explains the ground.
No.
Yes, dude,
That's
and
not
that's
true.
I mean, bro. For instance, you're just. I appreciate the celestial sphere. Okay, the celestial sphere is like a beautiful creation of mankind, dude. It's like it's helped us. It's like a monumental, beautiful thing made by mankind. So your attempt to just say, dude, no, it's not built off that, like, just proves you don't know what the fuck you're talking about because it is built off of that, and it's beautiful. There's nothing wrong. That's what.
I'm not
It's
saying.
the
I'm not saying
only
they didn't
beautiful. How
use
about
it.
this? I'll grant
Hold
it's
on.
the only beautiful characteristic of the globe.
And there's a deductive argument to back it.
Okay, my take isn't that it doesn't exist or that it didn't help at all in geodesy. It's just that you're not going to look back in history and find people that developed the celestial sphere that said the Earth was flat. You'll find zero of those people. They all believe that it was we live on a globe
that's
inside
exactly
of
what
a
I just
celestial.
said, bro.
Dude, let me finish before you guys crash out.
You're confirming what I said.
I was almost done. But if you look back, you'll see people they developed the celestial sphere. They all believe that it was inside a globe. You can find pictures of it,
Yeah,
and you'll
dude.
find zero.
I agree with you. Dude. That's what I said. No, my point is that's what I said. Like, but just to say that because there's a celestial sphere, the Earth is a sphere. That's another step and another part of the equation. My point
Well,
is
the
that
celestial sphere
like
doesn't work. But hold on, the celestial sphere doesn't work if the Earth isn't a sphere. That's why you need the personal
well, how do
azimuthal
you
dome of
prove?
vision that
How do
bends
you?
light around.
Yeah, I think it's like proving what goes on after death, my man.
You made a
No,
claim.
like you just
gotta
all you have to
back
do
it
is
up.
if you made a map of the skies, like the celestial sphere, and try to make it work over a flat surface, you're gonna struggle.
The Babylonians did it, dude. So I don't know, bro.
I just want a flat Earth map. I don't know why. I mean, we got a guy like Rakia in here that apparently that guy's loaded, right? He could buy a sailboat. Buy like a 40-foot sailboat.
Hey, the map
and he
is
can
not
go
the
We're not all
territory.
cartographers, my man. We're not all cartographers.
Hey, the map's not the
can hire
territory,
one.
bro. Sorry. It doesn't mean even if you come up with a map, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the
Yeah, hire
territory.
a
GPS
cartographer.
works. You
Gonna
guys
come
all,
back and
everybody
tell
in
us
here
it's a
trusts
globe because that's what
GPS.
he learned. Okay.
Like
In our
everybody in here
local
trusts
reality.
GPS.
Yeah,
Just
in
take the
our local
GPS
reality,
distances.
dude. Have you taken an airplane flight with your GPS system, like, and no one else in the airplane, just flying it and been like, yeah, I trust this thing? Have you done that? Because I do that with the boats, and it's a little nerve-wracking.
Did it work? It worked. So to answer your question,
for
yes,
10
you can get a
miles
map.
offshore, it
bro,
does. Yeah.
Bro, I got like 10 words in and then you interrupted. All right, I'll mute up.
You asked the
It's all
question,
good.
dude. You asked the question.
I didn't.
Did it work?
You asked a
said, "Did
question.
it
I was in the
work?"
middle of answering
You
it,
said,
and then
"Did
you
it
jumped
work,
in,
bro?"
and then Beasticles jumped in after that.
You said, did it
You
work?
said, "Did it work, dude?"
Yeah, and that's appeal to pragmatism. And building a
I
map.
definitely appeal to pragmatism. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
It does work.
That's great. Like in the other argument you made earlier, you said all of the guys that created the celestial sphere thought the Earth was a sphere. Okay, so what? So the people that anybody that created a hammer or whatever, and then they only use it to hammer nails. Can I use a hammer to use for other purposes? Yes. Doesn't matter.
Well, also, too, like real quick, I brought it up because I was saying the celestial sphere is what you guys have that comports and makes the sphere of Earth possible, and it's the only thing you have is what's up in the sky, and that's just dubious in itself. Do you know what I mean, dude?
No, like, but that's why I brought up GPS, because GPS is something everybody, like, it works. We use it to plan flight routes, that we 100,000 flight routes that get exactly where they need to go in the right amount of time.
Well, yeah,
at
let
the
me ask you
right
a question. Do you
speed.
think Do you think this conversation is being had via satellite or hardline underneath the fucking ocean and in the ground and up in the air? Like hardline. Do you
It's
think this
a combination of
conversation
all
Are
of
you
the
on
above.
Starlink?
a
Are you on
combination?
Star?
Yeah,
Are
are
you
you
on
on Starlink
Starlink?
or something? I'm not.
Then you're not.
Right. Okay.
Bunch of
So I'm
people
just
are.
saying, like,
Bunch
right.
of
So
people are.
most of us are using just hardline cable, whereas a lot
Doesn't
of people are
matter.
under the hold on are under a lot of people are under the impression that like our phones, etc., use satellites or use fucking whatever. They don't. So a lot of people's misconceptions
It
about
can
these
though.
topics
It
allow them.
can. It can.
GPS
Hold
makes
on,
this
Doza.
fucking work like that.
Coming in hot.
It can though. Like your phone has
Hot.
satellite capabilities. And did you guys see the new
Yeah,
promo for the
capabilities
iPhone
because it's
18?
not used
Wait,
otherwise.
listen.
You fucking retard.
Wait. So did you guys see the new promo for iPhone 18 for
When's
satellite data?
that coming out? When's that coming
For
out, bro?
satellite data. That's
When's
coming
that
out this
coming out?
year. That's
All
coming out this
right,
year.
sweet.
Well, what else do you
Nice.
want?
Thank
September.
you.
Can I ask a
September?
question?
All right.
Great. I
Yeah.
love
I think they
helium
use
balloons in the
what
sky.
do they use? The
Satellite data.
iPhone.
Satellite data. No
They use
tag.
the iPhone 11, I think, to capture the moon picture. Maybe it was the
I have a
iPhone 11.
question. What
Oh yeah,
exactly
Well,
on
does
the
yo,
chip.
first
satellite
off,
Yep.
is that
capabilities mean?
most point is that like we could use like our technology is not like like solely reliant on like satellites and shit. Like so this like appeal to satellites shit is also some other bullshit. Like we can use
Where
the
are they?
technology we
Okay,
have
hold on. Let me address
that
that. Let
was
me address
Where
built.
that.
are the satellites, dude?
Let me
We've been
address that.
looking at the Earth through these pictures and everything. Where are the satellites at, bro?
Okay, so if you go, I don't know if you've ever been like outside of cell service camping in the middle of nowhere, right? You may have noticed if you download the map beforehand of where you're going, your GPS will work. Even when you're completely out of cell service, like your
Yeah,
GPS
that's right.
pretty much always works unless there's something right above you.
You know why
How
it
high up
works?
is
Hold
it?
on. Oh no, wait. You know why it works? Why do you think it works?
Yeah,
Because it
because there's
downloads it and
satellites
holds
above
it.
Earth. There's a bunch
Oh,
of satellites above Earth, and they don't get blocked out by
Incorrect.
Different
whatever it
band,
is that blocks out the
Monty.
cell service.
Incorrect. It uses
It's a
your
different
gyroscope and your
band.
phone and your accelerometer to predict
No,
where
it
you
doesn't.
are based off your step count. Yes, it does, dude. Shut up.
You know, here I'll prove that that you're wrong.
So get
You could
wrecked,
turn your
dude.
phone
Your
off.
argument
Hold
is
on,
shit.
Different
dude,
Dang, that's a good
band.
bro.
argument, bro. Are you sure he's not correct? Because that makes a lot of sense. You guys say you could predict all of that just by,
Okay,
those
let me
calculations.
address it. You could turn your phone, power your phone completely off, drive 50 miles with no cell service. You can turn your phone on, open up maps, it'll tell you exactly where you are.
Turn your phone back on.
Accelerometer would
Hold on.
still work,
Do you
dude.
think when
All
I
the
turn your
stuff
phone back
he
on,
just
it can retroactively
Hold on.
accelerometer wherever you
Hold on.
drove before that?
No, dude. You turn your phone back on, you get signal again. What are you talking about?
Yeah, from the satellite. I'm talking
I
about when
don't
you're
even think
outside
you
of
could
cell
turn your phone
service.
off, personally. I don't even know if you could turn your phone off. First of all, how do you know that when you turn your phone off, the
That's
accelerometer is
great.
not keeping
That's
anything?
that's the argument you have to go to is we can't actually turn our phones off.
No, but here's the thing. That's not even a good argument, dude. But I'll give you exactly what happens because there's a thing that says SOS and it shows a little satellite symbol. When I go to work and I go underneath the Venetian, which is a hotel in Las Vegas, right? You're in these underground, like these hallways. You literally cannot get signal down there. There's too much interference, right? Satellite or not, doesn't matter. Okay. I still have GPS that works, okay? And the reason why I know it works is because I was using an Uber and I forgot the tip, so I tried to open it up and it showed the Uber right underneath the Venetian, right where I was. So I was like, "Huh, how am I still getting signal essentially?" Well, if you look on your iPhone, I don't know if it works for Android, so that being said, I have no idea if it works for Android, but for your iPhone, you can look on your iPhone and you can see that it does your step count, your step rate, your asymmetry, and basically it measures your gait. And based off of your gait, it can determine how far you have traveled, essentially.
Yeah. I don't deny any of that. But what I'm saying is that's not
I'm
how it
looking it up
works.
right now.
You can turn it off. You can turn your phone off, and you could go drive, like I said, 50 miles with zero service, and GPS will work.
Hey,
Like
check
I
it
don't know
out.
why we're
Hold on
we're
one
in
second.
2026 and we're like denying the GPS works. It's crazy.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
It's a different
Hold on, guys,
band.
1 second.
You're
I'm
so
saying like
ignorant
the
on this
definition
topic.
says that what the gentleman is saying is correct. Like for instance, like one app I use does that, and it says that it has a GPS part of it. It says, well, forgive me, I had the page before it. It uses damn, what the fuck is it? Sorry guys.
If you're not
It
using Waze,
hold on.
you're doing it
So it
wrong.
uses your location without service because it uses your phone's built-in GPS chip, which communicates directly with satellites, not cellular towers. That's what I'm reading right now. So as long as you have
Cell
previously
phones don't
downloaded the
communicate
offline
directly with
maps.
satellites.
Hold on. Well, as long as you've downloaded the offline map for the area, the app can display your position via blue dot, blah, blah, blah. This is for one of the apps I use that does this. And I was curious if it does counting steps. But so far, all I'm seeing is that there's a GPS chip that communicates with satellites. So the dude is right as far as what we're seeing here.
And
Cell
turn
phones
when you
don't
turn off
communicate
your
with
phone,
What
satellites.
food are
It's
you
called
talking
you're not
about?
actually.
Wait,
assisted
who said that? Who
GPS.
said cell phones
Oh,
don't communicate with
besides that,
GPS satellites?
dude,
I said
you're not
that.
actually turning off your phone though. I just
So
want to mention
they
that's not
can
as
communicate
crazy.
with them for sure.
Yeah, that's not as
Yeah,
crazy
I'll
as you
grant
think
that.
it is. Look it up, dude. You literally can't turn off your phone. It puts it in a soft state. Okay, that's how I find my still works when you get your phone stolen and you try to track your phone and they turn it off. You can still use it because it's not actually off. So your
There are
argument's
Android phones you
done.
can buy with removable
Get a
Remove the
batteries.
GPS
battery and then
receiver.
try it.
Like, skip the
The
phone, get a
passive
battery powered
system, man, it's
GPS
a different
receiver. Like,
band.
this is crazy.
It's
This
a
is just
different
reality
band. It's
denial.
a different system.
It's not
You're
reality
just making
denial.
stuff
You're
up.
just making a bad argument.
No,
No,
he's
it's
not
like
making a bet. Hey, hold on. His argument is
You can
sound.
literally
Because
use a
No, it's
satellite
not.
phone.
hold on. We're
He's
just going to
he's
argue about our next step is going to be arguing about what satellites exactly are and shit like that. But that's
No, I don't want to
whatever.
go
You
there.
can
But
use a
I will. But
satellite phone to go
you
to
got to
where they
grant where
communicate.
the gentleman's right, though. That's all I'm saying is that you
You
were
can
right
use a
about that.
satellite
no.
phone
He's
and go
he's
to
claiming it's
anywhere that
only
there
line of
is.
sight,
We know,
but that's
Cole.
not how it
What up,
works.
brother?
What's up? Talking there. Nobody will let me in.
You're good, brother.
Use a satellite phone and go anywhere with no towers at all. Like where you know you're not getting service. And you can make a phone call. So something's going on. There
It's a
has to be
different
something up
band.
there.
Have you guys never, with all your interest in these topics, you've never studied telecommunications? It's a completely different band, a different system. It's also what was it? Beasticles was saying. That's an additional system wrapped into it. It's got nothing to do with just simply line of sight to the sky. If you don't have line of sight to the tower, what are you talking about? You don't know how the system works. Just speaking
I
out of ignorance.
100%. I would bet. I would guarantee if you took a handheld GPS receiver
I
down
don't
to
care what
pro,
you
dude.
bet.
What is
You
with you
don't know
guys
how the
today?
system.
Elijah,
You don't know
Elijah.
how the
What is with you
system
guys?
works.
Elijah, you can't interrupt like that, bro.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you took a battery powered GPS receiver down underneath the concrete place where
That's
Beasticles works,
nonsense.
that thing's not
Nonsense.
going to work.
Shut up. Fuck. Shut up.
What? No, hold on. Are you just not
Oh,
listening?
that's right.
If the
Guys, can we let him finish? Hold on. Did
Yeah,
he?
can you stop interrupting,
Wait a dick.
Elijah? Jesus Christ.
I think that was somebody else was like doing a joke
you had
interruption. Could you
the
guys not do that? Pinky, what was your point?
My point was if you don't have line of sight to a satellite, like if you're down underneath a bunker with concrete above you, GPS is not going to work.
You're assuming the situation
Is
is
there
the way
Wi-Fi
you
on there?
describe it. You're not actually describing the way the system actually works.
If there's Wi-Fi, there's definitely GPS
I'm
signal. What are you
I'm talking about not your phone. You just get a handheld thing, and all it does is GPS. It doesn't do. It has no Wi-Fi capabilities. You take that down there, it's not going to work.
The only way that would happen is if it's out of range of the thing that it's communicating with, or if the band is being blocked physically. You can't
By the
just
concrete.
assume. You can't just assume line of sight to the sky and satellites, and therefore that's how it works. You're not
Yeah,
actually
and he
talking
hasn't
about the
even.
mechanisms that are in the system that you're holding.
And
You're
he's just
speaking
talking
from
about a
ignorance. It's
hypothetical because he
wrong.
hasn't even tried this.
I've tried
It
it.
doesn't
I've
matter.
got a
It doesn't
handheld
matter whether
You've
you
GPS
tried it
gone
or
to
receiver.
a
not.
bunker with a GPS signal, with a GPS little
Yeah, I go
handheld
into
device.
a I go in a
Not
car
a
park or
phone.
whatever. Right, a GPS device. Would you like to see it?
You said the phone. He said a phone, not a phone. Yeah, he said a
It's
bunker.
a different radio. Like the radio in your phone, like there's a cell radio, there's the Bluetooth radio, the Wi-Fi radio, and the GPS radio. There's also other things like the NFC things and other radios too. But Those are like the main ones. So the GPS is its own radio, which is why you can turn it on and off. I can actually sense when the GPS is on and off. I can actually like feel it in my hand, but that's a whole separate. I can actually tell if the GPS is on or off on the phone because it's a much more penetrating signal. But anyways, it's a different radio. The GPS radio is its own radio, and
it operates on a different band by necessity.
yes, but it seems to operate from not the cell towers, from something directly above. So whatever you want to call that, whether you call it satellites or whatever that is, it is communicate like that GPS radio. And Pfinky was correct, at least from the part I heard, where if you turn off like the cell connection, even if you take your SIM card out, no cell connection, you turn everything into airplane mode, but you only turn the GPS radio on. As long as you've already downloaded the map, it will continue to direct you, even if you have no cell service at all, and even if all the cell stuff is turned off. So that GPS radio is connecting with something in the sky, which is how what they call satellite phones can work as well, where you can be out in the middle of nowhere with like no cell towers anywhere near, and you can do everything with the satellite phone and so on. And then there's also like Starlink and other technologies too. But yeah,
just anecdotally, I went on
what's the effective range of the GPS band?
You feel it in your hand, like on your hip. Where do you feel it? What do you mean?
So I went on like a multi-day backpacking hike. We were doing it was like a canyoneering trip, and so there were parts of this when we were going where it was like there was steep walls on either side, and we were way out of cell service, and we had one of these handheld GPS like what Roohif posted earlier. And even with direct, there was direct line of sight to the sky, but it was blocked. Like the canyons were sort of blocking either side of it. We had trouble getting location fixes in the canyon. Not a proof of anything. Yeah. It's just you have to be able to link up with at least I think it's four different satellites, which may be like closer down on the horizon. If you can't link up with those, you're not going to get.
How would that be like a falsification that the satellite signal is on the ground above on the tower above the canyon?
Well, I've done some of my own testing with it, just anecdotally, kind of like Pfinky's saying, to be able to decipher like what direction the signal's coming from, and I've like compared it in different, to the cell phone radio and to like sometimes I've had times where like in the past, maybe when the GPS was not as good as it is now, where like in a car, like I would have to have the GPS like underneath the sunroof to actually get the signal, whereas if it was up on the dash, even though it had a whatever degree angle, 45, 50, 60 degree angle to the sky, it actually needed more of a direct upward, vertical, and I had to like move it to be under the sunroof. That was like maybe years ago and it wasn't as good. I'm just saying I've had some of my own anecdotal to decipher that GPS radio is connecting to something like essentially directly up and not horizontally to a tower or like close to horizontal. However, I still to this day have never. I think Kosho was actually going to buy some like equipment, like a Faraday cage thing, and to try to make it to where you could actually isolate it. Like if you do like a 3-walled Faraday type thing, and then you leave the top open, and then you could try to decipher like exactly what angle the signal's coming in at, and at what level you won't get a signal. So I've never really seen that like fully replicated to try to like isolate that. But for my own anecdotal, yeah, it does seem like that GPS radio is communicating with something that's at a far higher altitude than a cell tower.
Here, listen. I agree with you, Pfinky, in terms of like, yes, you're getting a signal, but the thing is, you're not getting an exact location, right? Especially if you're underground like I was, right? So the last configuration that you have when you're with your phone is between 4 satellites. Right, which creates an area. Okay, and in that area, you have a possible fix of where your phone's going to pop up next. That's what I mean by calculation, and it uses like your gyroscope, your accelerometer, the what your step count, what direction you were facing, when it lost signal, etc. Dude.
Like to your point,
I agree with you. By the way, I've
definitely noticed. Okay, gotta agree.
Let me agree with them. I do believe that your accelerometer will do sort of like dead reckoning if it can't get satellite fix.
100%, yeah.
So like, so we all agree like it's something we notice on GPS. Like if I already put the directions into a place, and I go to that place and lose service, I'll continue to get directions. But if I were to try to say end this and show me a new place, I won't be able to get the new place. It'll just give me the place I already It was already loaded. It was already loaded up.
I'm not talking
Right,
about. I'm not talking about the app of getting directions like through Google Maps. I'm talking about the low-level GPS, which just all it does on the phone is gives your phone what your lat-long coordinates are on Earth.
Okay.
That part will still work.
Do you have an Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Anyone who has an Android, I posted a link to this little app here. Right? It literally will show you everything when it comes to GPS as soon as it gets a lock on, etc. The amount of details is it's crazy. I don't know if they have the same one on iPhone. But there is a way.
Is the GPS Essentials? That's the one I use.
What?
There's an app called GPS Essentials, and you can load. There's like little cells you can put. You can pick what you want in each cell, and like I have everything from like battery voltage, battery temperature, longitude, number of satellites, like altitude, GPS altitude, like all this stuff.
No, it's called a GPS status.
Probably similar app.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but the reason why I like this one is because you can actually, you can set it up as like a notification to where you get a lot as soon as you get a new cell tower or a new lock, not cell tower, but new satellite, whatever. As soon as you get a new lock, it'll send you a notification with coordinates, and a plus or minus in terms of accuracy, in terms of elevation. So, like here, I'll show you a little picture of what it looks like. This is from the website itself, but now I want you to notice something. It says steps. That's very important. It also says last fix. So you may.
Beast, it could also be pulling data from its other components just to show you that data. It doesn't mean that they're using those calculations to give you like the GPS location that you're looking for.
No, it's definitely using it. As soon as you get a fix, right, then it calculates how many steps since the last fix. So then that way it shows you a radius of where you could be since that last fix.
Yeah, it's not just steps. You have in the top, you've got your pitch, you've got your accelerometer. Yeah, so it looks like that might be like OS specific. Maybe it's something Android does that.
Yeah, more importantly, though, how do you guys feel about the patriarchy?
There we go.
Oh, fuck.
Topic change.
Yeah, well, anyway, you can spoof your GPS, you can do signal jamming, all that stuff works. I mean, it's not surprising, that you're gonna have GPS on your phone and that you're in the middle of nowhere and then you're gonna have a signal. Like, it's really not surprising.
Especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, because there's satellites.
You're connecting to satellites. That's
I don't.
why.
I don't disagree.
Guys,
I don't disagree with satellites.
I disagree. I can just
It's
give
the
you one
assumption
example.
that you have to disagree with, though.
Hang on,
What's
I
up,
can
AJ?
give you guys an example. Yeah, so I used to do a lot of traveling, a lot of driving, especially inland Australia from top to bottom. Yeah, and there's one particular road that I've done numerous times. I had two GPSs going in my car. I had my vehicle GPS as well as my phone. And there's these big valleys, and at the top of these hills, on the other sides of these valleys, there's these big radio towers. Yeah, so what would happen is I would drive down into this valley, like I'm talking probably 50, 60 kilometers long stretches of road between hills. And as soon as you'd get down and one of those towers would get out of sight, I'd lose all GPS signal. It'd come up on my car, it'd come up on my phone, GPS signal lost. Obviously, the maps are downloaded, so it would track where I was. And it wasn't till I would get one of those towers back in view where I would get my GPS signal again. And that's happened multiple trips, multiple times. And it would happen
Test this, AJ.
Sorry?
That's your
100%.
cell data. That's your cell data coming back to you. That's why you're able to see all the information. That's why when you hit those cell
Hold on a second.
I
We're talking about GPS and losing GPS signal, and that it doesn't occur because there's obviously satellites that your phone or your GPS, etc., are connected to. Well, I can give you multiple occasions driving inland Australia where that is not the case, that when you don't have a tower or a signal, you lose all of your GPS signal. And I can tell you that there's many times out at sea as well, when I've been out at sea, hundreds of Ks off the coast, where
Hold on,
I
Doza.
lose GPS signal as well.
Oh, and
That's
AJ.
not true. You don't.
Hold on, Doza. Hold on, Doza.
Dude, we're talking though. He was
Going next.
responding to me.
Going next. Thank you. Okay, AJ, you can actually test this out, bro. And what I mean by test it, I'm saying next time you do an inland trip, whenever you're gonna go, on a pretty far trip, and you go into one of these valleys, you should get one of these apps, one of these GPS status apps, right? And it'll literally tell you where your last fix was, and then as soon as you get signal again, it'll show you exactly where that signal's coming from, and you can try and match it up and see if it's in the same direction as those radio towers.
Yeah, I can give that a crack if I ever do that trip again, but I just know that that's happened, multiple times to me where I've definitely lost all GPS, and I don't get it again until I get a tower back in sight. Whether people believe it or not, that's up to them, but that's just what I have witnessed.
It's your testimony. Gotcha. All right, go ahead.
Simply
Doza,
not
sorry.
true, though. That's simply not true, because you just said a while ago, yeah, you downloaded the map. Wait, dude, you just said that you just said you downloaded the map and it showed you location on that downloaded map. That's your GPS signal. Once you get back to the cell towers, once you get your cell data, it'll.
So when I'm driving through tunnels in Sydney, and there's no GPS signal, and my GPS still tracks and tells me where I'm going to go, it's because the maps are downloaded, and it's using something in the phone. It's not connected to a fucking satellite in the sky when I'm in a fucking tunnel.
Well, cell phones also these days, if you look at, I know different phones have different settings, but in the GPS settings, they also use the cell phone towers and Wi-Fi assisted. Yeah, it's like assisted. So they use like the cell towers when it has access to cell. Then it also can use like Wi-Fi. Now that might depend on like what kind of Wi-Fi systems you might be logged into, but there's a little setting where it'll say like, do you also want to use, to try to get your best estimate. So in some cases, if the GPS goes out, it might be able to keep accuracy through the actual cell towers.
Yeah, I would hope so. This is like the thing that gets me, right? Like 2026, they have like AI, they have all these things, right? You would imagine that somebody foresaw the issue that sometimes I lose service. Maybe we should have like something in the operating system where it downloads the map and uses the tools available so that our customers are still using the app and not getting lost.
Dude, they do that.
And it seems, yes, I know. I don't know why it seems like a conspiracy.
They do that. They do that. Doza, check it out. They do that like in Florida, in the big towns, like in the big cities. Your whole maps looks totally different. It's like a totally different world, and then you go to small cities, and it's not. You know what I mean? So obviously, there's something in that city that is also transponding all this extra information or whatever, or your Apple Maps is updated more for those areas.
It just doesn't seem like a conspiracy to me. It just seems like a decent standard, like what you would expect product, over what you would expect over a common, circumstance. So I just don't like this conspiracy mindset.
No, I think
Galley, how do you think? Wait, Gio, one sec, before I get lost. But Galley, do you know how these Google Maps and Apple Maps get the data from big cities? Do you not see cameras everywhere? Do you not see the Google car like running around your city?
Well,
that's exactly what they do. So they use real-time data collection.
They don't have to.
They use real-time data collection to be able to implement into their code. Like you guys.
No.
Okay, so there's this thing called the Google Maps API. There's this. What do you mean not necessary? You've never seen that before. That's why there's more details. That's why let me finish, bro. Let me finish. You keep interrupting. No one's modding you. They're modding everybody else, but not you. Okay? So this is how big cities get all of these data, all of this detail for bigger cities, because that's where the majority of the population is. Of course, that's where you're going to want the most data for your app. What's the problem with that?
No, you're interpreting it all wrong, dude. It's it's a fixed city, right? Everything is already built. There's no options, especially if you're in a car, or if you're a pedestrian.
Everything's already built.
Both you guys are way off course.
Can I finish? Can I finish the thought? So it's pretty much a limited, already established map. Now, obviously, that's going to be updated should there be roadworks or whatever. They're not retarded. But all you have to do is have it calibrated once, and then with the internal system of the phone being able to tell you how far you've gone this way, that way, and forwards and backwards, you can then from the first calibrate. I'm still speaking. You can then from the first calibration determine where you've gone, even if you have no updated calibration, because you've got a fixed map that it's tied to. They used to do this with like old Japanese cars, right? So all this is an updated version of that same system of using signals to calibrate at different points and update should it be possible. But if it's not possible, you can still determine where you are in the map because you already had an initial point calibrated, and you're just moving X and Y from that.
You guys.
Do you think Google Maps as a code is static? Is that what you really think it does? So you have one implementation and then
what,
that's
you're just gonna strain credulity of what I said rather than engage?
Totally.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Because you think there's one calibration that happens every time. No, that's not how it works. There's real-time data going into.
That's
Can
not what
both
I
of
said.
you please take a step back because you're not like it's so much simpler than that. It's called cached memory, guys. That's it. As soon as you load a map once, it's in your phone. It's called cache memory. Period. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
It's so
Pfinky
simple.
said that. Pfinky said that like an hour ago.
Yeah, like what the fuck are we talking? Like, okay. I think the point
But
of
it's
the
the
matter, if we
principle.
keep bringing that
The
up.
mechanism is irrelevant. It's
Wait,
the
so what's the
principle that I'm
contention?
talking about.
What's the what did Galley say
Hold on.
about the big cities compared to small cities? Like that's the
You're
point of this,
confusing
right?
me for
That's the
someone
point
else.
of
I've been
what I
talking
was
for
saying.
hours.
Dude, listen.
Oh, was it
Galley,
Torah?
you need to
Sorry,
answer this, man.
Sorry, you guys sound the same. You and
Yeah, I'll
Torah.
answer. Wait,
sound
what's
exactly
the
the
thing
same.
Answer it for me.
Yeah, what's the thing that I said? God, Doza, tell me off for the bad thing I said.
It's fine. It's fine.
Listen, Pfinky, are you still there?
Nah.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, he fucking.
I just come back. I have some cookies and coffee, and I hear Galley, you gotta answer this. I was like, what?
Yo, my bad,
Yo,
Galley.
you got some explaining to do, Galley.
I swear you guys sound the same when I'm not looking
Dude, we're the
with
same
my
person.
phone. Pretty
Which
much,
ones, actually?
honestly.
It's crazy.
Like, how do I know, right?
Well, the
How do I
source.
know it's actually Galley?
Yeah. Well, like I don't know if you were asking for the source of that. It was Galley, so I said it was Galley, so that's why you were asking him a question.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, sorry guys, if someone tried to speak to me, I got a phone call right after all of that, and I had to dip out because I'm sitting here at work listening in. So yeah, apologise if anyone tried to talk to me.
No, you're good. Nothing. You didn't miss anything. Honestly.
That's all right.
Came back, face stuffed full of cookies. Galley, you gotta answer this. I was like, what?
Yesterday.
Yeah, sorry, Gio. I heard what Gio said as well. Yeah, I agree with what you said there, Gio. So about the GPS on the phone. So yeah, thanks.
It's not even mentioning the C2 servers because you guys realize anything with a network interface card, and I mean literally anything that connects to either some domain name, even if it's a closed circuit system, doesn't matter. If you have a network interface card, your card is most likely being used to transact a signal, whether it be yours or someone else's. It doesn't matter. It's called the C2 configuration, and C2. You can look it up. It's command and control. That's what C2 stands for. So it's basically a 5G network infrastructure, which is the Internet of Things that connects literally everything. And you don't even have to have a Zigbee device. Zigbee being like the term for a mesh network, like where it's just like a signal that's like ding, oh, I'm over here, and then it picks it up. Okay, that thing's over there. What's over here? It's a very simple mesh type network, but regardless, if everything is interconnected that way, even if you have it turned off, even if you have it on a certain setting where you don't want your location to be tracked, it does not matter. If you're sending out a signal that says acknowledge, there will be a thing that says acknowledge, and then that you can tell
Like the thing,
exactly
like
where
the thing that you said earliest on. Like if I had a map catch, or I had a map uploaded, and then if you give me a compass, an accelerometer that I can't count that fast, but if you give me a compass, an accelerometer, and a gyroscope, and a map, and isn't that all I need? I mean, isn't that how you do it with? Isn't that all you need?
it's approximation.
It's called.
I mean, it would be
It's called
exact. I don't know.
navigate. It's called
You got the
navigation
degrees on the
because
compass, and then you got the speed of the acceleration there for the speed. And then you got, if you're going up or down, up and down hills of elevation profiles that are in the map. I mean, is that all you need?
all they've
Somewhat,
done is
but
automate natural navigation that a human would have done on his own with a map and a compass. Just
Yeah,
automate.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, just to answer your question, no thanks. Yeah, that's yes, but that's making the assumption that all the things that you were doing before you lost signal are exactly the same.
All
So
the
like
things I'm doing before I lost signal were the same. Well,
right,
I don't. Well, I'm just
your
saying, like, if there's a
orientation, your speed, you know what I mean? Like if you adjust
no,
it,
no,
yeah.
does the phone. I don't know if it does. Like, does it have a computer that counts the
Yeah. It's all
the
internal.
accelerate? Yeah.
But it's still once you lose signal from whatever GPS, app you're using or whatever, it's gonna have the approximation, which it does anyway. It already does approximation the way we're talking about it right now with signal, unless you want it like precise location. Like there's a reason why you have that option. Like, have you guys ever wondered why you have that option, where it says precise location versus?
Nope. Didn't even know I had it.
Oh, yeah, you can see.
I trust the
It's per
science.
app. No, it's per app. So like if you have an iPhone, you can actually look. So if you go to iPhone, go to your apps, click on any one of the apps, doesn't matter. You could do something like Brave, and then location, and then if you hit while using the app, there's another button that pops up. It's called precise location. So when it's on the location, right, it only uses your approximate location, which is what we were just talking about, which is between 4
Ah, you're
satellites.
talking about location on and off. Okay, I don't call that like approximate. Yeah.
No, but when you have it on, like your location, it's only using approximate, and then there's an option to even use specific location or precise location.
Imagine that's a battery saving thing, right?
No,
because it can be more like for approximation. You don't have to be as energy intensive because you can get the gist for the user anyway.
nope. That's just precise and approximate. It's always going to be approximate if you don't have precise turned on.
Yeah, but surely using the precise one would be more battery intensive for a phone at least.
Or you're talking about the GPS radio versus the other ones? Because my understanding is like the Wi-Fi and the cell signal, like they can only get like maybe 10 feet or 20 feet or whatever the accuracy is on that, whereas the GPS is like much more accurate, down to a foot
It's actually opposite. It's actually opposite, Geo. The Wi-Fi location is actually scary accurate.
Yeah, I just don't take this like conspiratorial route that it seems like some of the Globers are taking. Like technology has improved so much, like computing speed, integration of different apps, etc. So using the same method as previously, only a million times faster,
more precise,
is sufficient. There's no need for a constant GPS update when you have technology that moves 10,000 times faster, doing the same thing it used to do.
You can literally. Okay, I don't know if you guys know Ben Jordan. Sorry to interrupt, Elijah. But real quick, Ben Jordan. This guy is like, he's a little liberal, but it doesn't matter. He's a fucking technical genius, dude. Super big nerd. He has shown what you can actually do with flock cameras, with your Wi-Fi settings, etc. Like you can literally get in someone's entire day, their behavior analytics, exactly what they're doing, who they hung out with, why they did a certain thing, and then you can even have an AI track your movement on its own with like flock condor and stuff like that, which is like a specific type of camera that's a CCTV camera that most cities are installing. It's insane. But I'm gonna post this. You guys should watch this. It's really insane. He still buys into the idea that you're going to be able to do anything about it, but other than that, it's pretty insane. I don't know why my embedded is not showing up.
By the way, Gio, what you're saying, if you just go on your phone, it tells you. You can use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to make it more accurate. It's within the setting.
Yep.
Because the reason that is, I think, is simply because of the band difference. One is high band, one is small band. So it's
Dude,
accuracy.
sometimes,
The length of the wave just makes it easier for pinpointing.
dude, sometimes I like wish that it would just keep it on like the downloaded maps, because sometimes when we're in Miami, it'll like put our car in the water. Like that's how bad the GPS is.
I imagine that's probably. Is that in downtown, like in populated areas?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And
imagine that's
extremely.
signal interference.
Another thing I was noticing while watching like the news or something the other day is that like the elevation across the United States is pretty good correspondence to the temperature. If you just start looking at like like Louisiana, Florida, like all the the things that are flat and low are about their average temperature is about the same. Then you go to the high places, their temperatures. I'm sure this comes into like all of these things. If this was my business, all of these things I would integrate into where I am and the temperature on the phone. All of these things I would use. But that's kind of like
Right,
not
so
really
that, so
relevant
that's
to the GPS thing exactly. But yeah, the temperature in correspondence to the elevation is pretty interesting.
But it's a good point though, because all these things are a bunch of systems upon systems for the last 5 decades, and none of them really have been made redundant. They've all been just integrated into the wider system. So when you talk about the topic in isolation, you're ignoring too much because it doesn't operate in
Yeah.
isolation.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine being like, I don't know, like a Globe or Normie or even maybe one of the guys here who's saying, dude, don't you remember 20 years ago where GPS sucked and now it's good just because of satellites? Obviously. What are you, stupid? It's like, bro, like everything is faster, more integration. I can get on OpenAI and have it like, build me a world right now, probably. I could go back to it tomorrow and I'll live in a multiverse.
What's crazy, no tanks? Most people don't know this. Starlink, there's 1 to 2 satellites that burn up every day. Every day they come back down. Just want you guys to know that.
Is that really what they say?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yo, where are they all, dude? They're looking at the Earth. They were like orbiting around the Earth, looking at it. Dude, where are the satellites?
Yeah, show national security. You gotta keep it.
Oh yeah, there is competition there. You're right.
If they were the
them
satellites,
over
they
their
could try to
horizon.
do something. You don't want them to know where the satellites are, because then, national security keep their positions confidential.
It's refraction. You can't see them because they're over on the other side. And if they're on that side, well, refraction, it makes it so you can't see them, dude.
How big do you think Earth would look from the moon? Like if you were there?
At least twice as big as the moon.
About that
At
big.
least. At least twice as big as the moon when I'm looking at the moon from Earth, at least.
It looks pretty
Earth
small, dude.
The Earth can't look smaller from the moon than the moon looks from the Earth. It's just not it's not, it doesn't work for me.
Well, how about this? Is there any proof that we can see 250,000 miles? Because anywhere on Earth, you can never see 250,000 miles.
Nope.
You're begging the question.
Hey, I can see 3 light years. So.
Light
Well,
years
you
and light
brought up the 250,000 miles. So we've got these rovers, 2 of them actually, that are active on Mars, which is 585 times the distance than the moon, 140 million miles away. How can we have any rovers on the moon? It's 585 times closer.
We got people losing remote control airplanes but they got these things, no problem.
Because they know
We have these
that there's
rovers
not
on Mars,
life. They
140
know
million
there's
miles
not
away.
life.
How about some rovers? I was thinking some rovers. We get them on the moon. You know what I mean?
There's no possibility of life on the moon, so they don't worry about looking on the moon. They're looking for life. That's the whole purpose of them doing that on Mars. That's why they're on Mars, not the moon.
Yeah, it's
And
like
that's why they can't land
585
on it.
times closer. It'd be, you know, probably like at least $5 cheaper, I would think.
It
to
may
get
be,
some
they're,
but
rovers.
if
they're
you're
debunking the
wanting to
original
find
moon landing.
something, you're not going to look where that something don't exist.
Yeah, but you could have a rover, you know, on the moon, just like going around, sort of like looking about the topography and, you know, because like it's 585 times closer. Obviously, I want some rovers on the
We
moon.
do that
And then you could charge
with
people like an
satellites.
amusement park. Like, you know, people would pay good money to go to NASA and then, like, you know, play with the rover and like drive around and like, you know, look at stuff.
In your paradigm, Cole, it's far more likely that there's life on the moon, since the moon is a chunk of Earth and Mars is not. So life's probably there will be more likely life in the moon or something. You know,
Guess
that's
it's
part of
but
Earth.
it could be made of
no
spare
thanks.
ribs. We need
That's just
rovers with
entirely
ribs.
wrong.
No
All right,
thanks.
well,
There
I
was
mean,
life on the
today.
moon, but they lost the technology, and it was a hard process to build it.
What's your reasoning that that's entirely wrong?
Because when that collision happened that they think created the moon, everything became completely molten, even the Earth, and then it re-hardened. That was before life even began on this planet.
Cole, what
Okay,
about
so,
all
so
the
there's more. So there's more.
ice
Your
frozen-
reasoning.
No tanks.
Your
I'm trying
reasoning
to.
is.
No tanks.
Hold on,
I was
I'm
already
trying to
talking to
argue
him.
on your side.
Rich.
Well, all right, take over then for me.
Very quickly. Well, I just wanted to talk to Cole for a second and point out that there is a good inclination to think that there could be deposits of frozen water at the South Pole in craters that have never seen the light. Granted that there is frozen water there, don't you think it could be likely that we could find some form of frozen life there?
Probably use some rovers on the moon.
It would be
I
a
would say.
real long shot, I would think. I mean, but
I'm not
life is pretty crazy, so you know.
I'm not saying it's alive, like a frozen organism. It could have even been from Earth, from the if we accept transpermia as an idea of how life got to Earth.
I guess you could say if something after life started on Earth, if something smacked the Earth and knocked the chunk off the Earth that had life on it, you know,
Yeah,
from
dude. There's
explosion, and threw
there's
it all the way to the
evolutionary
moon.
dinosaur fossils in the moon.
Threw it all the way to the moon, and then it just so happened to hit ice.
I was kind of thinking of the thing that brought. There could have been a comet that had organisms in it that hit Earth that deposited organic material, which started. So I'm saying some of that could have gotten to the moon, but I think that there probably was life on Mars at least at some point.
Wait, and where'd that life come from? Do you guys make
the
claims?
Bible?
Well, it takes
okay,
a whole
so
set of
it's who? Oh, sorry, Drew. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it takes a whole set of religious beliefs to even think of an idea of life on Mars. But yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking the same thing. So you guys are confident enough to say there was life on Mars, but you're not confident enough to say where life began. Are you sure it didn't begin on Mars?
It could have.
Not at all.
Could have. What percentage are we talking?
But the threshold of certainty that I say it could have is probably not the highest.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah. Well, what would you put it first? Oh yeah, rovers on the moon. Did you guys think about that?
Are you guys going? Are we trying to get in on a Groupon? Are we all going to
doing?
go together to the moon on rovers?
No, I'm thinking logically, if we have rovers on Mars, which is 140 million miles away, which is 585 times the distance of the moon, we have 2 active rovers on Mars. Why don't we have some rovers on the moon? Because it probably costs like at least $5 less. Like you probably save $5, get some rovers on the moon.
Because
That's right.
Like I said,
and you
they're
were
on
saying
Mars.
that-
They're on Mars for a reason. It's because they're looking for life and things
but-
like that. There's
No, but
Like,
hear about
Cole, like, can you apply this to your coal mining, right? It's like, you know that there's coal in this mine, right? Like, you know there's coal here. You found coal there before. Coal exists there. Like, life exists on Earth. And you're saying, don't go where you know life exists. Go to the place where you don't know. It's more likely you're going to find coal in the place you haven't been than the place that you have been.
I'm pretty sure Cole wasn't saying there's more likely life on Mars than there is on Earth.
No, on the moon.
No,
The
not
moon
at
is just
all.
Earth. The moon is just baby Earth. It's just a little piece of Earth.
No, it's
But
less
it doesn't
likely
have an
you'll find
environment.
life on Mars, or it's less likely you'd find life on the moon
Doesn't have an
than you will on
atmosphere at
Mars.
all.
It's
I
got
can
an
think of
extremely thin
reasons though.
atmosphere.
You're asking for reasons why we would have rovers on the moon? Is that what you're saying? Because you're saying there has to be a good reason for it, right?
No, I was given a reason on why they're on Mars and not on the moon.
Okay, what if you had a good reason to put them on the moon? Would you consider it?
Well, people,
Yeah,
other
why
countries
not?
have recently put rovers on the moon.
Yeah,
It's just the U.S.
India, they went
The
to the
U.S.
South
hasn't
Pole
put
so they
rovers
could.
on the
Well, there's
In
one
India
reason
did. They
right
wanted to
there.
go to the South Pole because it was like infinite ice Slurpee making material. So they wanted to go to the
Yeah,
South Pole of the moon.
there's 6 to 8 known major robotic and human-driven rovers on the moon.
And we don't have one, America?
Well, we sent 6 manned missions to the moon that did the work of one robot like 1,000 times over.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying so now we have the reason competition.
And by the way, it costs almost as much to send to the moon as it does to Mars.
Wait, you guys don't think it would be a good idea,
Even
like
more
for us
so
to
in
have
some
like
ways.
the best robot? What if we got our robot out there and then they had Robot Wars and then they could even film it and then they could broadcast it on television? That's more of a reason.
Dude,
The
I have a
government's too
vacuum. I
worried
have a
about people
vacuum
who
that
are worried about
I
drinking the fluoride in the water and
I have a vacuum
having
that
to
I
deal with
set
the
one
American
time and
schooling system.
it roams all around the house. You're telling me it's not. Listen, we're going to just bypass the moon. We're going to just skip over, we're going to skip over all the Venus. Just drop a rover real quick. Just drop them and go. Just let them do their thing.
It takes basically the same mission profile as far as resources to put something on the moon as it does to Mars.
You're right, and you're passing the moon. You might as well just line it up, right? Get like, dude. I've seen the planets. I've seen Saturn,
Holy shit!
Neptune. I've seen them all lined up. Just get in a line, all right, and just get 8 rovers, parachute them, just drop, 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 and you got a rover on all your little planets.
Parachute them.
Yo, that's so funny too. When do you flip over? Like if we were just going straight up like to Mars right now, when do your feet flip over so you could land on like the bottom of Mars?
Whenever you want them to.
Oh, you just flip it. There's got to be
Levels
a
of
point.
troll are unheard of since this lunar mission.
You
Pretty
make
crazy.
corrections along the way and everything else. You're constantly pointing that craft in different directions the entire way. You make 2 or 3 correction burns to keep yourself lined up just right as you go. So
It's
you're
super.
you're
Yeah,
you're
I see it.
constantly pointing in different directions.
Are they doing? Are
So
they
it makes
doing
no
it like
difference when you
now?
get there. You just point in the direction you need to point in, just like you pointed in directions the whole way.
Yeah, but if you're gonna land on the bottom of it, which direction you point?
You put your ass in down.
You are the reference frame.
Yeah.
Yep. So everyone's up is the same up, and everyone's down is the same down. That makes sense.
Down is towards the large body of mass that you're headed towards. So Earth is a large body of mass. Down is towards the center of it. Mars is a large body of mass. Once you get to there, down is towards the center of it.
So then you
Cool, where do
agree that your drywall on your walls is, if it's perfectly flat, it's at 8 inches per mile squared.
Why would I think that?
Because the whole time you built it, you had to, build it with all of the vectors of gravity going to the center of the Earth.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, the wall is, if it's perfectly flat, 8 inches per mile squared, right?
You would have more deviations in just producing the thing than you would a deviation from the curvature of that short of length.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying there's nothing that we produce. Like when we call it flat, we mean it's 8 inches per mile
Nothing
squared.
is
Right?
flat. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
And like if we make
You're
a
acting
mirror, it's curving at 8 inches per mile squared, right?
float glass.
All of it.
Float
Everything.
glass. Float
Everything
glass.
in your reality is
No.
curving.
No. And see, that's silly to even say.
Well, then how
You
do you
act,
make
you, you
something
act like
not
you act like
if all of the vector of gravity, all the vectors everywhere in reality are going to the center of the earth, then how am I ever going to make anything straight?
because it's such a small amount that the natural deviations and errors in the crafting process itself is far greater than any curvature. So
Bro, you're just gonna drop a plumb
it
bob.
ain't that it's going to be curved that much because it's naturally just from making the damn thing far more
Yeah.
uh
Yeah,
got
yeah.
far more errors
Making
in
the
it.
thing.
So you
Making
don't
the
have to
thing.
worry
That's
about
how
it.
you make the thing. That's how you make the thing. The thing that you're saying you don't worry about, that's how you make the thing.
Yeah,
Using
you
the
use
vectors.
that. You use that vectors,
Oh,
all those
did I need?
vectors. So
We were
therefore, when
talking
we
about
call, if you,
drywall and sheets.
but
Did I
yeah,
need
but if
to
you could
re-explain it for the simpletons in the
check it
room?
out, Cole, if you could make anything as flat as possible here on Earth means 8 inches per mile squared.
No, you can
That's
make
just
things flat.
a
That's silly.
one of your fallacies there, Galley. I don't know
Yeah.
which one it would be, but it's definitely one of them.
Yeah, Galley, you
It's
got
not
some
Yeah.
Galley.
explaining to
That's
do.
not Galley.
What's wrong with Galley, dude?
I'm trying
He's
to eat
just.
cookies, man.
He's all over Galley tonight, isn't he?
I mean, you're basically just saying how they claim that level. Hold up, you guys. We gotta go one at a time. Hold on. I was just gonna say that you're basically saying that they claim that level is curved, and so if you were to make a consistently level surface on their model, you would end up with an 8 inches per mile squared, right? Because you're using the word flat, but flat wouldn't be
Correct.
curving.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, level. Yeah, I don't think it would be possible to make something flat with that vector. How do you fight the vector?
But
Here's how you
in
fight it.
The vector
I'll
vector.
go next.
in machining we rely on having flat surfaces, and I mean flat. I don't mean 8 inches per mile curved or anything else. I mean in machining everything is based on flatness, and you use that to get your perfect square. You use it like everything is based off of flatness. That's where you start. So we can make things that are perfectly flat, not 8 inches a mile squared or whatever. And once we have these surfaces, then we build other things off of these surfaces and stuff. So when you put things together and you do machining and you do engineering and you build things that build other things, like you build machines that build drywall sheets, things don't have to always be curved.
Yeah, here's how you would do it though. Here's how you would do it. You would just make something level and then go up 8 inches per mile squared from the level and make a tangent, and then you would have your flat spot or your
No,
straight spot.
I'm talking about when we make drywall right now on the Earth. We're not taking it out of the gravity vector, right? So you're saying
Neither is one my kid makes a
if we
Lego
just level
tower.
out a piece of Earth, then that's like a little square on top of the ball. It's still all the
This is just
gravity
silly
is
car.
pulling on in a curved line. Like all those plumbs are all diverging. So even that straight thing that you just made is
Yeah,
8 inches per mile. You can't
yeah,
make
Yeah, but
anything.
even on the
You
and
cannot
flatter
make even a sheet of
density,
drywall, a
but in
tile,
but you did
whatever.
it. You did
Everything is going to be 8 inches per mile square. Sorry, that was
No,
You
that's
did
long.
it.
not.
You did
That's
it.
not
You
right.
did it. Yeah, but you didn't take into consideration what I said a while ago. The natural deviations from creating that drywall will be far greater than any curvature that might appear. The curvature is so slight
I
at
agree
that
with
eight
that.
feet
I
that
agree.
it won't show up at all because you have
Exactly.
so many natural deviations in the material to begin with.
And don't
Yeah,
matter
therefore
because
you
the thing
don't
you're
know if
aiming, the
anything
thing
is
you're
So
you can't
it
know
is
if anything is
so it
flat.
is flat.
Everything could be everything that you say is flat could
Nothing
technically
is
be at
flat.
8. Okay, that's my point. I was trying to say there's
But not
nothing
It's
because
in
of
not
here.
true.
Earth's gravity.
yeah.
Even on the globe, you got like I said, you could go up 8 inches per mile squared, and then you have a flat thing. In fact, you're gonna have a flat thing no matter what, because either the level thing was flat for us, or the chord or the tangent thing is flat for them. So no matter what, if you make two of those things, you're gonna have a flat thing somewhere.
No way, dude. The gravity vector is what's when I'm saying you got to build a piece of drywall or make a sheet of drywall or tile, you have to do that on a ground that all the plumbs are diverging. Do you not understand that?
If we make something level for 1 mile, and then I make another thing that goes up from that 8 inches per mile squared, That
seems
thing
to
is
think
that thing in the
On
globe
a globe,
model.
all of those are all the plums are diverging over
I
all
know,
that
but
distance.
even with the plums diverging, that would be straight.
Yeah, I mean, the idea here is that we cannot build anything that defies what gravity is trying to pull it down into. So therefore, kid can't build a Lego tower because even on
You
the
can't.
flat Earth, it'd be density trying to pull the Lego tower down. So the kid can't make a Lego tower because density won't allow it. It'll just get pulled back
Dude,
down, right?
no, check it, dude. You couldn't build anything on your Earth and prove that it wasn't 8 inches per mile squared.
Sure, you can.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
just
What
told
do
you.
we got on
I
our
just told you in machining, you can have a perfectly flat surface, and you obtain that perfectly flat surface by taking three surfaces of certain roughness. It don't have to be very rough, but if you take three different flat surfaces that are rough, and you